A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Kroger Tenderay Beef, no other beef so fresh can be so tender, presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. You know, there's just no two ways about it. No other beef so fresh can be so tender as Kroger Tenderay Beef. There's no doubt either that you're mighty anxious for those wonderfully delicious and juicy Kroger Tenderay beefsteaks and roasts to become plentiful once more. Well, your wish may come true in the near future. Yes, we hope that soon Kroger Tenderay beef will be available at your neighborhood Kroger store. Meantime, though, it will continue to remain scarce, since it's so hard to get the top grades of grain-fattened cattle. Now, just why are these top grades so important? Because Kroger uses only the top grades of grain-fattened cattle for Kroger Tenderay beef. Then it's made naturally tender in just 3 days by the famous Kroger Tenderay method. It's always fresh, because through Kroger's own Tenderay method, there's no need for wasteful aging or loss of rich natural juices. So now you see why we say that no other beef so fresh can be so tender. And one day soon, you'll be able to step up to the meat counter at your Kroger store and say, Kroger Tenderay beef, please, and get it. Meantime, Kroger is doing everything possible to provide you with beef. And when your Kroger store does have it, you can be sure it's the best beef that's available on the market today. Now, Hearts in Harmony. Because Freddie Lang lied to her about how he got away from the police, Penny herself is in trouble with the law for harboring an escaped criminal. She is out on bail now, however, and Johnny Keith, her one-time fiancé, has come to see her.
But how did you know I was home, Johnny?
Well, I went down to the bank for Jed to get the money for your bond, Penny.
You're, sure it was all Jed's money?
Well, it doesn't matter whose money it was. It got you out.
Some of it was yours, is that it?
Oh, a couple of bucks.
Johnny, why do you always put yourself out for me? You said you wouldn't in this case.
Well, that was just talk.
Oh, was it? Didn't sound like it at the time. You told me in no uncertain terms, Johnny Keith, that if I got into trouble because of Freddie Lang, you'd just say to me, I told you so.
Well, I should have been shot for saying that because I didn't mean it.
Oh, since when have you said things you didn't mean?
All right. I did mean it. And I still think you're a fool to do anything for Freddie Lang but let him go to jail and stay there.
Oh, Johnny, you don't mean that.
I do, Penny. May sound a little cold-hearted, but the only reason I helped you now is because, well, I feel partly responsible for your being arrested.
Responsible how?
Oh, when I left here yesterday after seeing Freddie run upstairs, remember? Well, I ran into Captain Harlow of the police out in front of the house. I told him I thought Freddie was in here.
And that makes you responsible?
Oh, I think it does. Out of loyalty to you, I should have kept my mouth shut, but the words were out before I knew what I was saying. I hope you'll forgive me, Penny.
Johnny, there's nothing to forgive you for. You did the right thing. You'd have been as wrong as I if you'd lied to the captain.
Yeah, I know, but I could have gotten away from him without saying anything.
Oh, I doubt that. No, I think Captain Harlow himself suspected that Freddie was here.
Oh, what would you have said if he'd asked you if Freddie was here?
Golly, I don't know. I hate to think about it. I might have lied to him. Johnny, look.
Mm-hmm.
I still believe Freddie's story when the captain was here.
But you don't believe it now, huh?
No. No, I realized he was lying. But I'll tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
You probably won't like it.
What?
I think Freddie had to lie to me.
Had to lie to you? What else do you know that's silly?
I know it sounds silly, but I don't think it is. I think something was forcing Freddie to lie.
Sure. He had to have a place to hide from the police. The only way he could get you to let him stay here was to say the police released him.
But that isn't the only reason he wanted to stay. The only reason he asked me not to tell him when he wasn't here.
There couldn't have been any other reason.
Well, I think there was.
Penny, are you letting your imagination get the best of you?
Johnny, it isn't my imagination. Freddie said something about my being in danger if he were found here. Something about a man who might come here looking for him.
Penny, why do you fall for that kid's fantastic stories? Surely he'd tell you were in danger. It would help make sure that you'd say what he wanted you to.
Well, I'll admit it sounds like that on the surface, but underneath...
Penny, please. Let's not argue about it anymore. It makes me a little sick.
Well, one of these days you'll find out I was right.
Yeah, one of these days I'll have to do more than contribute a few dollars to get you out of trouble because of Freddie.
Oh, really? If you think that I'd ever want your help with an attitude
Penny,
like
wait,
that...
I didn't mean it that way at all. Well, you know there's nothing I wouldn't do for you if I could. I'm just trying so hard to straighten you out about Freddie that... Well, I get a little mixed up myself. And you've got to believe that.
I do believe that, Johnny. Look, this isn't as bad as it seems. The truth will come out one of these days, and you'll see that there was just a lot of excitement over nothing.
I hope you're right, Penny.
I am right. You just wait and see. Now, come on. Come over here. I know how to cheer you up.
Hmm?
Come on. Come to the piano bench and sit down beside me.
Okay.
Okay. You remember how, when you used to be blue about your work, I used to sing for you?
Do I remember? I still hear some of the songs you sang, and still hear you singing.
Oh. You mean I sang so loudly the echoes never died, huh?
Oh, Penny, you know what I mean.
All right. Come on now. Come on, sit down beside me.
All right. Here I am.
Would you like to hear one of the songs I used to sing for you?
Can't think of anything I'd like better.
Good. How about this one? September Song.
Oh, yeah. Make it that one.
All right. It goes. Oh, it's a long, long while from May to December, but the days grow short when you reach September, when the autumn turns the leaves to flame. One hasn't got time for the waiting game. Oh, the days dwindle down to a precious few. September, and these few precious days I'll spend with you. These precious days I'll spend with you.
Well, thanks, Penny. Thanks a lot.
But thanks for what, Johnny? Song?
No, not a song. For the things I remembered while you sang it.
Johnny, don't.
Now, look, I know it's rude to run out on you all of a sudden, but I think I'd better leave.
Sure, Keith, you can see Freddie. Right through that door there.
Okay. Thanks, Captain Oil.
He's in the fourth cell to the right.
Huh?
Just brought him here from the hospital.
Oh, he's all right then, huh?
Just the way we want him, Keith. In jail.
And just the way you intend to keep him, I suppose.
Yes, I think we will this time. We'll go on in and see him. You can have all the time you want.
Thanks. Hello, Freddie.
Well, that ain't the Rover boy himself. What's the matter? Scared maybe I died from the spill I took out of that window up at Gibbsy's? You're just here to make sure that I'm still alive and in the jug, too?
No, Freddie. I'm sorry about that fall you took. I'm glad you're all right.
Mm-hmm. You're glad I'm in here, too, huh?
Only for Penny's sake, Freddie. I came down here thinking that, well, now that they've caught you and even Penny can't be of any help to you, maybe you'll tell the truth about a few things.
What do you mean, tell the truth about a few things?
Well, for one, maybe you'll tell the police you forced Penny to let you hide in her house.
Yeah? What for?
You know what for, Freddie. It's her only chance of beating the charge the police have against her.
Why don't you get out of here?
Look, Freddie, isn't there one grain of decency in you?
Not to hear you talk about me, there ain't. Now scram, will you? This jail is bad enough without having to look through the bars and see you there.
Freddie, you've got to tell the truth. You've got to help Penny.
I ain't got to do nothing, see? That's exactly what I'm going to do. Nothing. I didn't rob no store. I didn't force Gibbsy to keep me in her house. I didn't do nothing.
Freddie,
What do you want, copper?
I have some news for you.
Yeah? But it's great news, too. Well, you can skip it, see? And take the Rover boy here, Keith. Take him with you.
We'll both leave you alone in just a minute, Freddie. You'll want to be alone to think something over.
Yeah? What's that?
The man we found unconscious behind the store you tried to rob.
What about him?
He died, Captain Harlow?
No, Keith. But I imagine Freddie wishes he would.
I don't wish nothing about that guy. I don't know who he is, and I don't care. And just because you found my ring in back of that store don't mean that I tried to rob the joint or
Never
not.
mind about all that, Freddie. We don't know who the man is yet, but we will soon. The hospital says he's regaining consciousness.
So what?
So he'll tell us who he is, what he was doing behind the store, what your ring was doing there, and all about you.
I'm supposed to worry?
I would if I were you, Freddie. I'd worry plenty.
Is the unconscious man going to explain what Freddie's ring was doing behind the store? Will he clear Freddie or involve him? And who is the man? Is it Bill Carver who planned the robbery with Freddie? What will happen, and how will it affect Penny when he tells the story? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. While fortune-telling is not a specialty of ours, we will make this prediction. Soon you'll be able to buy all you want of famous, fresh, and tender Kroger Tenderay beef. Meantime, remember, right up until the day Kroger Tenderay beef is plentiful again, Kroger will always bring you the very best beef on the market whenever it's available. Remember, too, your Kroger store offers you a wide selection of fine meats, seafoods with an ocean-fresh flavor, and plump, country-tasting poultry. And they're yours at money-saving prices. So for the finest in foods, go to your neighborhood Kroger store.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, Requeim by Robert Heinlein. On a high hill in Samoa, there is a grave. Inscribed on the marker are these words:
Under the wide and starry sky, dig my grave and let me lie. Gladly did I live and gladly die, and I lay me down with a will. This be the verse you grave for me. Here he lies where he longed to be. Home is the sailor, home from the sea, and the hunter, home from the hill.
These lines appear another place, scrawled on a shipping tag from a compressed air container, and pinned to the ground with a knife. It wasn't much of a fair, as fairs go. The trotting races wouldn't be held till 8 o'clock at night. The flags and bunting drooped in the gray afternoon, and the pitchmen seemed discouraged. A large black limousine stood at the side of the road, 32 cylinders purring quietly. And over the dust and the clatter of the fair, a bullhorn blasted the highest pitch.
Hurry, 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 this way to the moon rocket, See it fly, the actual type rocket used by the first man to see it fly. Chills, thrills, the romance of space. You can ride in it for only $25. Hurry, hurry, hurry.
Hey, Charlie, have you got that feed tube patched?
I welded it. Good for maybe an hour.
Oh, what a crowd. They wouldn't risk a nickel to see the sun blow up.
Oh, Captain, excuse me, Captain.
Yeah? Oh, yes, sir. 50 cents to inspect the rocket. One?
Could you take a passenger this trip?
You mean you want to go up? $25.
That's right.
Yes, sir, right away. Charlie, take the pitch. Step this way, sir. Look out for the feed lines.
Oh, yes, I see them.
Hey, Doc. Passenger for a checkup.
Okay, Mac.
Well, is this necessary?
Regulations.
Take off your coat, open your shirt, roll up your right sleeve.
All right.
How are things, Mac?
Slow. We're not drawing as much as the cooch tent.
They'll pick up tonight with the trotters.
I'm ready, Doctor.
All right, give me your arm. All right, breathe in. Breathe. Breathe. Uh-oh. Sorry, Mac.
No go, Doc?
Cardiac condition I couldn't certify. I'm sorry.
You mean you won't take me up?
He's the doctor.
Well, I rather expected it.
Sorry. Between you and me, we could have used the 25.
Excuse me, Captain.
Yeah?
Could you and your engineer have dinner with me after your flight?
Dinner?
At my home. My car's over there.
That's your car? The limousine?
That's right.
You serious, Mac? You want Charlie and me for dinner?
Of course.
Okay. Okay. Don't see why not? Thanks. Charlie, you had enough.
Lay off, Mac.
Oh, that's perfectly all right, Captain McIntyre. Cigar?
Thanks.
Light?
Well, thanks.
Yes, it's hard for me to see why any holder of a master's ticket would quit the Earth-Moon run.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, don't hand us that. It was Rule G washed you out.
All right, so I took a few drinks.
Tell me, gentlemen, are you satisfied with what you're doing now?
Are you kidding? We've been pushing the old junk heap for a year. Half the time, the sheriff has an attachment on the ship for a fuel bill. It stinks.
Would it help you to get back to the moon?
Well, sure. I could get a short-haul job hopping oil. If I kept my nose clean, I might even get back on the run.
Would you be open to a business proposition?
What is it?
You own your own rocket?
Barring a couple of liens against it.
I want to charter her to take me to the moon.
You hear what he said, Mac? He wants us to fly that old heap to the moon.
He can't do it. The old boat's worn out.
Why don't you charter a regular company ship?
Oh, no, I can't do that. The company charter comes up before a congressional committee this year. They have to follow the regulations.
You can't pass the physical. Now, if you can afford to hire us, Why don't you bribe a couple of company medics? It's been done before.
I know, but not for me. I'm D. Harriman.
Harriman?
You own the company. Hey, what are you giving us?
I own a large percentage of the company, but the other directors won't permit me to jeopardize the franchise.
You tie that, Mac. A guy with half the money in the world, and he's up a creek.
Shut up, Charlie. Why do you want to go to the moon so bad, Mr. Harriman?
Well, it's the one thing I've really wanted to do all my life. I'm maybe 50 years older than you. When I was a kid, nobody believed we'd really reach the moon. You've seen rockets all your lives. When I was a boy, they laughed at the idea, but I believed. I wanted the moon then. I used to stand in the backyard and stare at it.
How far away is it, Mom?
The moon? Far enough.
Why don't people fly to the moon?
They can't.
Why not?
They just can't. But not now, anyway.
Someday I will.
What?
Fly to the moon.
Sure. Now, come on, Belle. Inside. Way past your bedtime.
There wasn't enough money for college, so I worked. Stock boy at the old Ford plant in Detroit. Accountant, credit manager for a mail order house. Then New York and Wall Street. And then transportation. The monorail line between New York and Chicago. The Atlantic Pressure Tunnel. And then Harriman rockets.
Dell? Dell, I want to talk to you.
I'm working, Charlotte.
You talk to me now, Dell, or you may not get another chance.
What is it?
Fred Lott was in. You've sold out again.
I run the business, Charlotte.
Dell, I'm fed up with it. Up to here. I married you because I love you. I still love you, but I'm fed up.
Now, what is it, Charlotte?
We're not young anymore. Fred tells me you've bought into a bankrupt engineering firm. Sunk every nickel in it.
Well, they own the Schwarzmiller fuel injector patents. I need them.
How many times do we have to start over? I'm tired. I'm not asking for millions. Just a little life for the two of us.
I didn't know about the divorce for a month. I lost the papers under a stack of blueprints and stock prospectus. That night I walked through the park, watching the full moon move across the sky. My old friend. I could recognize the wrinkles. Tritium, Mare fecundatus, Mare twinkulatus, the lunar Apennines. It took 2 fraudulent bankruptcies and an investigation by the Securities and Exchange Commission before we did it. The moon. There were 3 injunctions on the rocket before it blasted off. I was going on the second trip, but my considerate board served a court order on me.
You can't go down.
Fred, I'll break you if it's the last thing I do.
Dell, you've got a bad heart. That's no secret.
Oh.
If you die out there, the whole card house comes down. Now, we've got an equity in this corporation. We're going to see it protected. You've sucked us in on this wild scheme, and now that it paid off, you're going to sit right down here on Earth and see that the dividends come out on time. You're not going to the moon, Dell. Forget it.
I never went. By the time my lawyers shook off the restraining orders, the first cargo rocket had crashed in the Pacific, and Congress rushed through the Space Precautionary Act. My heart kept earthbound, and now I'm old. I've lived longer than I should, but I would not let myself die. I will not until I have set foot on the moon. There, Captain McIntyre, you asked why I wanted to go to the moon, Well?
You find the ship, Mr. Harriman, and I'll drive her. You'll hit the moon.
All right, then we can get down to business. I'll have contracts drawn up for you. You two will have to buy me a ship. I can't do it openly, of course. My dear board of directors would find out and slap a court order on me.
Well, we can't get credit.
Oh, don't worry. I'll supply the cash in advance. Pick some ship that can be fitted for the jump. A strato yacht, Apply for a strato license. Then after it's issued, you move to a piece of desert. I'll find a strip and buy it.
You mean fit her out there?
Yes. We'll install extra fuel tanks, change the injectors and timers for space flight.
Charlie, you think you can manage the changeover without a dockyard and shops?
Well, I'll have to have a load of power tools and a lot of time. It'll be haywired and spot welded.
Just so it doesn't blow up when I slap the key.
It won't blow.
Well, that's what you said about the last ship.
Now, cut it out, will you? I ask you, Mr. Harriman, that last ship was a junk heap and we knew it. Now, this will be different. We're going to spend some dough and do it right. Ain't we, Mr. Harriman?
You spend all the money you want. I'll see that you get it.
$132 shares of Apex Holding at 60% of par.
Check.
52 preferred of Space Race Fuel, 50% off par.
Check.
That's the list. Oh, Mr. Harriman, there's a process server outside.
Yeah? What is it?
I don't know, sir, but I think it's a subpoena.
Oh, I was expecting that. Ashley, get Mr. Kamens on the phone. I think it's time for my lawyer.
May it please Your Honor, counsel representing Mr. Harriman's relatives contend that his behavior for the past few weeks gives clear indication that a mind brilliant in the world of finance has become senile. They petition you to declare him incompetent and to assign a conservator to protect his financial interests and those of his heirs. May I suggest that in the last few words my opponent gave away his entire thesis. It is evident that the petitioners believe that my client should conduct his affairs in such a way as to ensure that his nephews, nieces, and their issue will be supported in unearned luxury for the rest of their lives. Therefore, we pray this court will confirm my client in his right to do what he likes with his own. Deny this petition and send these meddlers about their business.
Well, Kamens,
It could go either way.
He might rule against me?
He might. We'll know tomorrow.
Here it is. Eccentric millionaire disappears.
Yes.
You're eccentric, Mr. Harriman.
Well, they used to call me crazy, but that depends on your credit rating.
A bench warrant under contempt proceedings has been issued.
They won't find me out here. How is the work going, Charlie?
My end's in pretty good shape.
Well, are you ready to go? My nephews will have detectives out looking for me.
Well, I could run those calibration tests tonight. Take till midnight. After that, it's up to the Commodore here.
There she is, Mr. Harriman. That's the job that'll take you to the moon.
It's a good ship, isn't it?
Hey, Mac, stop the car.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh. He's out?
Look at him. Where's his medicine?
Vest pocket. Here. Break the glass. Hold around his nose.
He looks lousy.
Yeah. There. He's breathing easy. Come around soon.
Mac, we ain't going through with this.
Why not?
It's murder. He'll never stand up under the initial acceleration.
Maybe not, but that's what he wants to do. You heard him.
I don't like it. He's an okay old buzzard.
What do you want to do with him? Send him back to Kansas City so his no-good nephews can shut him up in the cellar?
No, but...
Okay, then. Now get out there and make your setup for those test runs. Get that ship ready to fly.
Hey, you.
Me?
How many other people are there out in this desert?
What can I do for you?
You James McIntyre?
Hey, Mac.
What's the matter, Charlie?
You McIntyre?
Oh. Yeah.
I'm the deputy federal marshal in this district. I got a warrant for your arrest.
What charge?
Conspiracy to violate the Space Precautionary Act. I suppose you're Charles Schwartz. I got one for you, too.
Thanks.
And a man named Harriman. Got a court order to put seals on your spaceship.
We haven't got any spaceship.
What's that, a kiddie car?
Strato yacht.
Yeah? Well, I'll put seals in until a spaceship shows up. Where's Harriman?
In the shed.
What shed?
Oh, my knuckle. That's the one I broke playing football. I'm always hurting that finger.
We gotta hurry. Get Papa to the cabin and strap him into his hammock.
Right. So long, Deputy. Oh, my knuckle.
She's warm, Charlie. Everything set back there?
How do I know? I didn't have time to run tests.
Tough. You all right, Mr. Harriman?
I think so, but these straps are tight.
Have to be when we blast off. All set, Charlie. Give me control.
Check. Test keys.
1 bank.
Check.
2 bank.
There's an auxiliary out.
We don't need it. All right, boy, hang on. Let's go. How are you, Pop?
I'm doing fine. Couldn't be better.
You better stay in your hammock. I'll loosen the straps a little. What is it?
Nothing. Just go easy on that side.
You ain't fooling me none, Pop. We got a couple of busted ribs. There isn't much I can do till we ground. You take a neobaritol, and I'll wake you when we cut jets.
No, I'll stay awake.
Okay, just as you say, Pop. She's on automatic, Charlie. How are the tubes holding up?
Fine, tight as a drum.
Your handle's nice.
How's Pop?
Alive. He's in bad shape.
How bad?
Cracked a couple of ribs in the takeoff. I don't know what else.
You think he'll last the trip?
His heart was pounding like an off-time valve.
Well, he'll last. He's tough.
Tough. He's delicate as a canary.
I don't mean that. He's tough down inside where it counts. Just the same, you better set her down awful easy if you want him alive.
I'll make a full swing around the moon and ease her in an involute approach curve. It'll go fine if we got enough fuel.
Somebody call me?
Something wrong, Pop?
Thought somebody was calling me. Must have been asleep.
I swung your hammock around. We're breaking now. There she is ahead.
The moon. I've seen 1,000 photographs. There. That's Copernicus. Tycho.
You know it all right, Pop.
Where are you landing?
Mare Imbrium between Aristillus and Archimedes.
Oh, that's about 40 miles from Lunar City, isn't it?
Yeah.
It won't be easy landing without ground approach radar, will it?
I've done it before.
Not without a second pilot to punch the satimeter.
You ought to have a mate's ticket, Pop. You know the whole routine. You must have really studied up.
Yes, that's all I could do, study until now. Oh, look at the moon. I feel as if I'm coming home.
Yeah. Charlie.
Yo.
I'm taking her in. Cut in full power.
Make it good, Mac. Pop can't take a rough one.
Shut up and give me the power. I'll do my best. Okay. Datometer setting punched. Hang on. Here we go.
That was a lousy landing, Mac.
Datometer drift.
How's our passenger?
Quiet. Now look.
I wouldn't make any bets. That landing stunk.
You shut up. I did my best. Hey, Pop.
He's alive. There's blood in his mouth.
He's trying to say something. Take it easy, Pop. We're down.
Oh, where?
Take it easy.
Vacuum suits. Where are they?
Steady, Pop. You can't go out there yet. We've got to give you some first aid.
Give me that suit.
What do you think, Mac?
Might as well. Get the suit out of the locker. Yeah, we'll use the big one. Be more comfortable.
Okay. Hurry.
Okay, Pop. Easy now.
Hurry.
Pull it up.
Oh.
Seal these zippers, Charlie. Take it easy. All right. The helmet. Air diaphragm set.
Check.
Air valve.
Set.
Lift it on him.
Don't hit him. There.
All right. Come on, Charlie. Get into your suit, and we'll carry him out the back. Easy with him.
Okay. Okay. You all right, Pop?
Outside. Take me outside.
Left leg is gone. Get your shoulder under it.
Right. Open the lock.
All right, Pop. Come on. We're going out on the moon.
The moon.
All right. Gonna leave you out here to look around while we get ready for the hike to town. You all right?
The moon.
We have to break out air bottles and rig a stretcher. It's 40 miles into the dome. Charlie, prop something behind his head.
Okay. You comfortable, Pop?
We'll be back soon.
Moon. I can feel the pumice dust. And it doesn't hurt anymore. Why, there's the earth overhead. The earth in the sky and green blue. I'm on the moon. I'm on the moon.
Del?
Charlotte? I thought I heard somebody call my name. Yeah, I'm getting old. My mind wanders.
Del?
Charlotte.
Del?
That is you, isn't it? I made it, Charlotte. I'm on the moon. You didn't understand. You were afraid I wouldn't take care of myself. But I made it. I'm on the moon.
Yeah.
I'm on the moon.
Come on, Charlie. We better get Pop going. Here, give me a hand getting him on the stretcher.
Never mind the stretcher, Mac.
What's the matter?
He won't need it. He's dead.
Oh. Better get out the pumice skis and the air bottles. It's a long walk to town.
Yeah. What about him?
Looks as if he's resting, doesn't he? Propped up, looking out on the pumice.
Well, he hit the moon. Come on. Let's start walking.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production. Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, Hello Tomorrow. After the third atomic war, when the Earth was a mass of red radioactive dust, a handful of men and women went deep underground in the struggle for survival. A new civilization was built deep underground, a civilization which must keep a ceaseless vigil against the deadly gamma rays which filter down through the Earth. A civilization where the prime consideration is the genetic survival of the race. It is to this civilization in the year of our Lord 4195 that we take you now.
Professor Lois Burton?
Yes.
I have a call from the Director of Emotional Stability for the Third Oblong. Go ahead, sir. Hello, darling.
Hello, dear. How is the Director of Emotional Stability? My, how impressive that sounds.
Don't joke, dear. You never know who may be listening.
Sorry. How are you? You sound tired.
Well, we've had some bad cases. Mostly frantic mothers who insist on imparting their feelings to children. I suspect it's chromosomes affected by gamma ray leakage from the surface, but the head of the psychotechnic division says they're glandular cases. But that isn't why I called. I have good news.
What is it?
The genetic board has approved our application for marriage.
So soon?
Our chromosomes tested perfect. We can marry any time we want. As a geneticist, you should know that our offspring should be 90 percentile of perfection.
I know.
What's the matter? You are happy about it, aren't you?
Of course. Terribly happy.
I'm coming right over to the lab.
You'll have to give me some time.
What's the trouble?
No trouble. You know that genetic survey I've been working on?
Oh, what about it?
Well, I've finally gotten permission to study an actual living case, a specimen of imperfect genetic transmission.
Really?
They're bringing him, or it, up from the condemned cages on the lower level.
You will be careful.
There's nothing to be afraid of. The specimen is XJ12. It's been studied before many times and is quite well trained. Oh, there's my door signal. I'll have to hang up, darling. See you later. Yes?
Professor Burton?
Yes.
I'm from the Phylogenic Institute.
Oh, you brought my specimen?
May I come in?
By all means. Oh, how...
Horrible? It all depends on your viewpoint. I happen to have a twisted leg. My parents were genetically unsound.
But then you...
Yes, I am specimen XJ12.
I see.
I hope you aren't shocked.
No stable person permits feelings to enter into his work. I will admit to surprise. I was expecting something a little more abnormal.
Well, I try to be as abnormal as possible. It pays off. The Phylogenic Institute allows me out of the genetic cages ever so often so I can breathe the pure air of the upper levels and mingle with the genetically perfect.
You seem quite well educated.
I spent the first years of my life here in the upper levels.
How is that possible?
As a small child, my mother concealed me from the director of heredity. My mother actually, dreadful word, loved me.
That would explain your obviously low threshold of emotional control.
If you choose to call it that. You seem to be struggling to repress a few feelings yourself.
We will confine ourselves to the impersonal aspects of our work.
As you please.
I shall require you as a demonstration for a lecture I'm delivering to one of my classes tomorrow.
At your service.
Sit here, please. Grip these electrodes tightly. I'm going to calibrate your electrochemical tension.
I'm quite familiar with the procedure. I realize that as an imperfect I am expendable, but I should hate to be electrocuted.
The charge is not lethal. Plus 15 surface tension.
You know, you have beautiful hair.
Plus 12 at a depth of 4 centimeters. My hair meets minimal requirements for the genetic code.
And lovely blue eyes. Crystal clear.
Plus 10 at 7 centimeters.
Pretty. A perfect woman. Lovely expressive hands. And a heart of stone. Like all the rest of you perfect survival types.
Shut up.
Oh, could it be you do have feelings?
I seem to sense an air of emotional tension.
It's nothing, dear. This is the specimen.
You, specimen. Tell this dolt who I am, Lois.
This is the Director of Emotional Stability for the Third Oblong. You will address him as Mr. Director.
Mr. Director.
This creature seems quite impertinent.
He's only a specimen, darling.
Well, use him and ship him back to the cages. He's probably radioactive.
Attention, attention.
The next demonstration will be conducted by Professor Lois Burton of the Institute of Genetics. Her topic, the probability of radioactive damage in the chromosome heredity of imperfect non-survival types. Professor Burton.
As you know, most imperfects are destroyed at birth. However, those who, for one reason or another, manage to survive are segregated in cages on a lower level for study purposes. The specimen we have today has been trained to tell in his own words about the factors in his upbringing. You will have to forgive his immature emotional control factor. He is, as you can see, quite different. Specimen XJ12. You will proceed, please.
Thank you. My mother was a psychotechnician in the Fifth Oblong. My father was an historian specializing in the records of pre-atomic surface culture. In the earthquake of 2170, apparently some hard radiation filtered down through the tunnels and penetrated the Fifth Oblong. The effect on my hereditary factors is quite apparent in this twisted leg. My father taught me in the last days before he was executed that every human personality is born with certain inalienable natural rights. The rights to have feelings, the right to mature, and above all, the right to be different from every other living organism. Because it cannot be otherwise, I submit to you, distinguished students, that the attempt by this society to abridge these rights is a violation of nature. I submit that the imperfects, the mutants, those who are different, have as much right to exist and be free as you. And I say break open the cages.
Stop him!
Give us back the right to be individuals.
Stop him!
Oh!
Perhaps that will teach you. Professor Burton, take this specimen back to your laboratory and confine him.
Hold still while I bandage your head.
Oh.
You'll be all right.
I suppose you detest me for getting you into trouble.
I don't detest you.
What?
I don't know why, but as you spoke, something began to stir in me.
Tell me what you feel. If I moved you, then I must have moved the others, some of them at least.
For some reason, I took pride in what you were doing, seeing you stand up against them. Why do you look at me like that?
I can't help it.
I wish you wouldn't. You're only an imperfect, you know. Please.
My name is Orrin.
Please.
Say it. Orrin.
Orrin.
Again.
Orrin.
Lois.
Orrin.
Lois. Lois.
How touching.
Walter.
I've been listening for some time.
Walter, how could you?
In my capacity as Director of Emotional Stability, it is my duty.
What are you going to do?
Specimen XJ12 will be disposed of quite systematically by the state. For the good of the state, for the good of the genetic code, and in the name of emotional stability.
Walter, I have to talk to you.
Go right ahead.
Walter, you mustn't destroy him.
The specimen? Why not?
He's emotionally unstable. You have to expect irrational behavior.
Aren't you forgetting something, my dear? That you were responding in much the same manner? Or had you forgotten? You see, I'm having him liquidated for your sake. He has an upsetting effect on you.
Then send him back to the cages. But don't kill him.
You speak of destroying an inferior creature as if it was something unethical.
Walter, please, for my sake.
I understand that you have entered a plea for postponement of marriage at the Records Bureau.
Yes. I was too upset to go through with it.
It came as a great disappointment to me.
I'm sorry.
I was hoping that, linked to a stable personality such as mine, you might settle down. If he were married to me, I might even be persuaded to send him back to the cages instead of having him destroyed. Think it over.
If I refuse?
The choice is yours. Well, my dear?
Perhaps you're right.
I am.
I suppose I ought to be rational about this. After all, he's an imperfect.
I'm glad you've come to your senses.
When can we be married?
Tomorrow, if you like.
The sooner the better.
Let me talk to the custodian, please. Hello. This is the Director of Emotional Stability for the Third Oblong. I would like you to cancel the execution of specimen XJ12. Turn him over to be remanded permanently to the genetic cages. You'd better go. I'll pick you up in, say, an hour, and we'll make plans. All right?
Yes. Yes, of course.
Hello. This is the Director of Emotional Stability again. I want you to cancel that last order. Proceed with the execution, but under conditions of absolute secrecy. No, don't use the lethal chamber. Take him through the upper level to the tunnels. Yes. Yes, I'll issue a pass for the radiation checkpoint.
Into the elevator. Very well. Why are we going toward the surface? The cages are on the lower levels. Radiation check. I've never done that before. New procedure. Walk.
Halt. You can't go beyond this point. There is radioactivity in the tunnels.
I have a pass from the Director of Emotional Stability for the Third Oblong. Special mission.
I'll open the airlock.
March inside. Turn around.
So this is how they get rid of the imperfects. Now, before you dispose of me...
Yes?
Help! Security! Security!
What's happened?
The prisoner struck me. He escaped into the tunnels.
He won't last long.
Can you go after him?
I could send a robot, but it isn't worth the trouble. There's no way back from the tunnels except through here. The only other direction he can go is toward the surface. And the closer he gets, the hotter the radiation. No. I think you can consider your prisoner officially dead.
More wine?
No, thank you, Walter.
You look very beautiful, my dear. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
The wedding will be a small affair. The Director of Endocrine Control, the Chief of the Security Guard...
Walter?
Yes?
Was he returned to the cages?
Oh, now, why must you spoil it?
Was he, Walter?
Well, as a matter of fact, there was a little difficulty.
Difficulty?
Yes, you see, XJ12 escaped.
How? Where?
He struck a guard and ran off into the tunnels.
The tunnels? But that's sure death.
He's free to return any time he chooses. Now, don't become upset, darling.
You planned it, didn't you, Walter?
Stability, darling, stability.
Stability, stability. Here's what I think of stability.
Halt! State your business.
I'm Professor Burton of the Genetic Institute.
You can't go into the tunnels, Professor.
You'll have to let me by. I'm the fiancée of the Director of Emotional Stability.
Oh, I suppose you're after the one who escaped?
Yes.
He's quite dangerous, I understand.
I'm well armed.
Wouldn't it be better to send a robot?
I'm quite capable of handling him. He was my subject.
All right, miss. It's your risk. Checkpoint.
This is the Director of Emotional Stability.
Yes, sir.
If Professor Burton tries to pass the checkpoint, I want her taken into custody.
Professor Burton just passed her. She
You
said that...
idiot!
But, sir, she said that
I
she
don't
had...
care what she said. Stop her. Send robots after her. Get her back.
Yes, sir. At once, sir. Robot control. Checkpoint to robot control. Order out all televocal robots into the tunnels. Have them bring back any humans. This is a first priority order.
Oren! 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 Oren, where are you? Oren!
Hello?
Oren! It's Lois!
This way. Behind the rock. Over here.
Oh, darling, darling.
Lois, why did you come here? It's suicide.
I had to. Oh, darling, are you all right?
So far.
You've got to turn back. Give yourself up.
They'll kill
You
me.
can't stay here. The radiation is +4 at this point. It gets worse as you approach the surface.
Lois, darling, go back.
What will you do?
I'm going ahead.
But you can.
I can. I'm going to the surface.
It's certain death. Not even the robots can survive it.
Well, at least I'll be the first human in 1,100 years to see what the surface of the Earth looks like.
Come back with me.
No, Lois.
Then I'm going with you.
Lois.
Don't try to stop me, darling. There's nothing to go back to now. Nothing but Walter and emotional stability.
You really want to come with me?
Yes.
You know what it means.
I don't care.
My mother used to believe there was a life after death. A place called heaven.
We'll believe it, too.
Oh, no, Lois, I can't let you go.
Oren, I love you. See, I know how to say it now.
Say it again.
Oren, I love you.
What is that?
It sounds like... Oren, it's a robot patrol. They're looking for us.
All right, come on. This way.
Oren, wait.
It can't be much farther, darling.
The robots. They're coming. I can see their lights now.
Listen, they've stopped.
The lights are swinging round. Oren, they see us.
Come on. Look, Lois, look ahead. You can see the lights reflecting from something.
It looks like a lead door.
Come on through. There must be some way to close it. Oh, yes, here.
Let me help.
Well, they won't get through that. It's solid lead.
Oren, I feel so strange. Where are we?
I don't know.
Look, up there. A huge round light.
Lois.
Yes, Oren.
Lois, that's Luna, the moon. We're on the surface.
How strange and red everything looks. How it glows.
It's the radioactivity.
Quiet and peaceful. And deadly.
Oh, hush, darling, hush. Sit here and rest a while.
Put your arm around me.
Yes.
Oren, I'm afraid. Oren, we're going to die.
Don't think about that. Just think about us. Alone. The first humans to stand on the surface of Earth in 1,100 years. That door must have been placed there by the last handful of survivors who went underground after the atomic wars.
And those other lights, the small ones, they must be stars. Oren, I'm so tired.
Go to sleep, darling. Put your head on my shoulder and sleep.
Hold me, Oren. Hold me very close. Oren.
Hmm?
Oren, wake up.
Hmm? What?
Look, it's light. The whole universe is light. Oh, Oren, how beautiful. Look.
This must be the heaven my mother talked about.
See the plants? All green and fresh. And the birds. How strange they look.
Lois, this isn't heaven.
But we must be dead, Oren.
We should be dead. The radiation.
By all the laws of nature, yes.
By all the laws of nature. Orin. Orin, we're not dead. This is Earth. And we're alive. We're not going to die.
But, Lois, the radiation, it's present. You can see its effect.
Orin, did you ever hear of geotropism?
I'm not a geneticist.
There is a natural law of adaptation by which an organism will try to adjust itself to its environment by changing. It's called geotropism, don't you see?
No.
All these generations we've been bombarded by radiation filtering down through the Earth. Each successive generation must have inherited some degree of immunity.
But...
Orin, it can't hurt us. Don't you see? We're immune. We're probably the first generation to inherit sufficient immunity.
But, darling, if that's true, then we can transmit that immunity. We can pass it along to our children.
And they to their children. Come on. We'll have to find food and water.
The practical life. Wait a minute.
What are you doing with that rock?
I want to scratch something on the outside of this lead door.
Lois and Orin.
4195 A.D.
Hello, tomorrow.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
The magic island of Euclidia is over 4,000 miles from Los Angeles, California. Yet most of the activity of our story has been around Los Angeles for some little time. To begin with, Mrs. Gregory and her entire party were landed safely back in California, the Euclidean girl submarine commander bringing her rocket plane down on Lake Hollywood. Now, Captain Bradford and this girl have set off again in the rocket plane, trying to reach Euclidia before G-47 and the scientists can escape. Mrs. Gregory, with Jerry and Joan and her crew, are to follow immediately with a large boat chartered for the occasion. We find Mrs. Gregory with her trusted employee, Johnson, waiting impatiently at the harbor for Jerry and Joan.
Oh, how long have we been waiting now, Johnson?
Over 3 hours, Mrs. Gregory.
3 hours. And what has happened?
Well, we have no way of knowing for sure.
No way of knowing. And somewhere in that southern sky, Tex and Elaine are hurtling toward Euclidia at a speed of 1,000 miles an hour. Yet we have no way of knowing exactly what's happening to them. Jerry and Joan, over 3 hours since they went to Lake Hollywood to help Tex and Elaine take off. Yet we have no way of knowing where they are.
Well, nevertheless, I think we're doing the only sensible thing by remaining here on your boat, in the radio cabin. We're connected to the shore telephone, and they'll get word to us the minute they can do so safely.
But what could have happened to them?
Well, nothing very serious, or we'd have heard from them.
Oh, no, Johnson. It must be something serious. That's the reason we don't hear.
But we do know they left the lake 3 hours ago. We've sent 2 people up there, and no sign of them.
Johnson, I'm not ordinarily frightened by things like this. But we've seen so much of the power of these people. The Euclideans are clever and dangerous. Oh, I think Tex and that girl can take care of themselves. But Jerry and Joan have disappeared. In Hollywood, in broad daylight. It just isn't reasonable.
Well, they're not here, and we can't do anything but lie here and wait for them.
I know. But Texas expects us to be over 3 hours on our way by this time. Do you realize that we'll be 6 days getting to Euclidia, and that Tex and Elaine will have to keep that little plane afloat over that location for 6 days, threatening the Euclideans and bluffing them into staying underwater and living on condensed food?
Yes, but all of that will be a matter of routine to both of them. The captain knows his business, and the girl strikes me as being more than usually clever.
Oh, she's remarkable. And Tex is a grand person. But neither of them can work miracles.
Well, I'm sorry, Mrs. Gregory. There's nothing more I can say.
I understand, Johnson. And I'm sorry for being such a worry to you.
I'll take it. Hello?
Hello? Who's this?
This is Johnson speaking.
Hello, Johnson. This is Jerry.
Jerry?
Jerry, Joan.
May I speak to Mrs. Gregory, please?
Sure. Hold it a minute. He wants to speak to you.
Oh, thanks, Johnson. Jerry, how are you?
Oh, I'm okay. Joan's fine, too. Although we had a little trouble getting away to come down there.
Well, where are you now?
Oh, we're in jail.
In jail?
Yes, I'm in jail. A good, strong jail, too. But we're going to get out right away.
Well, what did you do to get yourselves in there?
Oh, just what we thought was best to do. We tried to keep the story of what was going on from getting to the papers and the radio stations, and we kept it quiet for 3 hours, but it's gone now.
Well, that may be long enough, Jerry. We have a man waiting with his set open in the radio shack. We haven't heard anything yet, or we'd have found out about it.
Oh, okay. We just talked to the chief and got everything fixed up. We'll be there in half an hour.
Half an hour? Well, you can't make that, Jerry.
Yes, we can. The chief's going to give us a police escort. We'll be there and ready to go in half an hour.
Well, we'll be ready to cast off when you arrive. Goodbye, Jerry.
Bye.
So they're in jail.
Yes. Jerry says they got there trying to keep the news of our departure a secret.
Well, I think they were trying to cover up the captain's flight.
Oh, of course they were. Tex said that no matter what happened, we weren't to try to communicate with him or let anyone know he'd gone until they'd had 4 hours. That's put them at Euclidia.
Well, Jerry's apparently done his best, even to the point of going to jail over it.
Oh, he's a great boy, Jerry is. He's been a wonderful help to us. Now, Johnson, I think we'd better get ready to shove off. If Jerry and Joan make it here in a half an
hour. How do you like it, Joan?
Oh, I like it very much. I have never ridden like this before.
These police cars are sure made to go when they have to.
Those men on the what do you call them?
Motorcycles?
Yes, the motorcycles. They ride fearlessly and clear the way for us.
We're sure doing it in style, all right. Well, Joan, in just a few minutes we'll be on board the boat on our way to Euclidia again.
And I hope for the last time. I want to live in your world, Jerry, with all of Mother's sensible, normal friends.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But, well, I like all this Magic Island stuff. Of course, it's exciting to me.
I beg your pardon, young lady.
Oh, yes, officer?
Sergeant, Joan, Sergeant.
I am sorry, Sergeant.
You're Mrs. Gregory's little daughter, I said.
Yes, sir.
And you lived 14 years on that thing they call the Magic Island?
That is correct.
Then, would you be so good as to give me your autograph?
My autograph?
You know, Joan, like the picture stars do. Sign your name for the sergeant.
Would you do that?
I should be glad to, but I cannot understand your request. I do not know the customs of Hollywood, but I thought only celebrated people were asked for their autograph.
You're celebrated enough in my house. Sure, I've got a small daughter of my own, only 6 years old, and I've had many an argument with her. I tell her the old Irish bedtime stories about the banshees. They're the little people who come out at night, you know.
No, I did not know.
Well, they do. Many's the time I've heard the banshees wailing and seen the fairies dancing over the bog in County Down. But will my little girl believe that? She will not. Says she, there's no such thing as fairies.
Well, I agree with her.
Shame on you, Jerry Hart. And with a name like yours, too. And this beautiful girl sitting right beside you.
I will sign my name for you, officer. Sergeant. But what has that to do with your little girl?
Sure, and if I show her your name, written in my traffic book, she'll believe me. She knows all about the Magic Island. And when she says that I've really had you riding in my car, I'll have less trouble with my bedtime stories hereafter.
I guess you might at that. Okay, Joan, sign your name for the Sarge.
It will be a pleasure. Only think of it, Jerry. I have been asked for my autograph.
Yeah, I know. And when we get home, I suppose you want to go to work in the pictures.
I should not mind.
Well, there's no time for that now. We're pretty near the harbor, and we'll be plenty busy explaining to your mother after we do get there.
I've made the rounds for the third time, Mrs. Gregory. Everything's shipshape, and a couple of the men are holding us fast with hand-snubbed lines.
Well, they should be here any minute now. Oh, Skipper.
Aye.
Will you start the motors and stand by to shove off the instant Jerry and Joan are aboard?
Aye.
Nearly 4 hours since the captain took off.
Well, I think we may expect to hear from him almost immediately after he lands at Euclidia.
Listen.
Yes, they're coming. Jerry said they had a police escort.
And I'll bet Jerry's making the most of that.
To say nothing of the thrill it is for Joan.
Well, McLeod's on his toes. He's starting the motors.
I wish we could hear from Tex.
Well, he hasn't been gone quite 4 hours, and they wouldn't have much chance of making it in less than that.
Johnson, listen.
They're on the pier now. It'll only be a minute.
Oh, Skipper.
Aye.
They're coming.
Aye.
Ready to shove off?
Aye.
Will you please go in the radio shack and wait, Johnson? I know you won't miss anything. I'll meet them and order our sailing.
Very well, Mrs. Gregory. I'll watch the radio.
Good night, and good luck to the two of you.
Hurry, Joan.
We're coming, Mother.
Hi, Skipper. Shovel off. We're here.
Not so fast, Jerry.
Oh, well, give me your hand, Joan. Come on. Over you go.
Oh, thank you.
Hurry into my cabin, you two. Cast off, Skipper.
Aye.
And full speed ahead at every possible moment.
Aye.
We are sorry to be so late, Mother.
Oh, I'm sure you couldn't avoid it.
We sure couldn't. You see, Mrs. Gregory...
One moment, Jerry. Wait until we get in the cabin.
Gee, Mrs. Gregory, somebody on board you can't trust?
No, Jerry. Just that I want to talk in here where Johnson can reach me immediately if he picks up anything on the radio.
No news of the captain as yet.
No, but we're expecting it any time.
Golly, we sure got underway quick.
Yes, Jerry, we've been waiting for you over 3 hours, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Mrs. Gregory, but we had a good reason. You see, a reporter and a cameraman followed us to Lake Hollywood and saw the captain and Elaine take off in the Euclidean rocket plane.
Oh, Jerry, they didn't know what Texas' destination was.
They seem to have a very good idea.
But how, Joan?
Well, golly whiskers, Mrs. Gregory. Everybody in the country knows about our trip down to Magic Island, and I'll bet plenty of people managed to find out we got back all right.
But they couldn't possibly have known about Texas' formula or what he plans to do at the underwater city.
No, Mother. They do not even suspect the existence of Euclidia. But they do know a great deal about the Magic Island.
And what happened?
Well, they came dashing up just as the rocket plane took off. But they were too late to get a good picture of it.
But they took our pictures, Mother.
Well, that couldn't do any harm. But how did you get in jail?
Well, we figured that Tex didn't want any stories about this flight of his to get out until he was at Euclidia.
Knowing that Elaine and the captain were afraid G-47 would be inspired to make a desperate attempt to escape if he realized capture was so near.
That's right. But you couldn't stop the story.
Oh, we did for a while. Well, I took a shortcut over the hills and headed them off on a one-way road and swung your car around so it blocked the road and couldn't be moved. Then we had plenty of luck when the road behind them filled up with cars before they could get out.
And then the officers came, and Jerry talked very fast, even faster than usual. And the officer agreed to take the two newspapermen to jail with us.
Oh, very nice, Jerry. And did they take them?
Oh, boy, they sure did. I told the cop who arrested us just enough about you and the captain that he knew I had something serious to tell. And he agreed to hold those fellows and not let them get the story out until I had a chance to explain it at headquarters.
But how did you get the chief's attention at this time of day?
Well, I just kept asking for him and saying you told me to talk to him. And pretty soon he came down to the jail. Well, after I told him the whole story, he held us all 3 hours and then let the reporters out at the same time he sent us down here.
We tried to get away earlier to join you, but the chief said he really had no reason to hold those men unless he held us also. And Jerry and I agreed that those 3 hours meant more to Captain Bradford and Elaine than they would to this boat.
And you thought exactly right. Tex should have time enough to land at Euclidia and take control before that news can possibly reach G-47.
Well, that's what we figured.
Well, children, we're off on another mad race to the South Sea.
I hope this is the last one.
Don't worry, it will be. And when you get back, you can walk up and down Hollywood Boulevard all day handing out your autograph.
Why, Jerry, what does that remark mean?
I am a celebrity, Mother. I have given my autograph to a sergeant of police.
Oh, Joan, dear. I know you don't realize it, but you're a born diplomat. As long as you have the officers asking for your autograph, you'll do very well in our world.
Captain Tex Bradford and Elaine Raleigh, the Euclidean girl submarine commander who has joined the Gregory party, have been flying 4 hours in the stolen Euclidean rocket plane, trying to reach the location of Euclidia before their fuel gives out. Just outside Los Angeles Harbor, a small passenger vessel chartered by Mrs. Gregory has put to sea, heading for the same location, but expecting to require between 5 and 6 days to reach the captain and Elaine. On board with Mrs. Gregory are Joan, Jerry, and their faithful friends of previous cruises. Our story today leaves them 4,000 miles behind, however, and we join Elaine and Captain Tex Bradford in the Euclidean rocket plane.
How's the fuel holding out, Elaine?
It is nearly exhausted, Captain Bradford.
Think we can make it?
I am checking our position.
Well, we've got 25,000 feet of altitude to help us.
I believe we will need it. It is foolish to waste our last bit of fuel if we may glide down and save it.
Well, why save it?
We may need it later.
There won't be enough left to take us anywhere.
No, but there may be sufficient to keep us from drifting anywhere.
Yeah, sure. I guess I'm getting old.
No one person can think of everything.
You seem to do a pretty good job of it.
Thank you.
Found out where we are?
We are within gliding distance of Euclidia.
Okay, cut your power and let's go down.
I am doing so.
I just had another pleasant thought to add to our troubles.
If it concerns something we can do nothing about, it is not wise to worry about it.
Well, we can't do anything about this, but I can't help worrying about it either.
What is it?
We're not going to have fuel enough left to take us very far from where we land, is that right?
Correct.
And what happens to us if we find that G47 and his Euclideans are swarming all over the water waiting for us?
That is indeed an unpleasant thought. However, you must have thought of that before this.
Yes, I have, but it looks a little different when you're looking at it from back home and when you're drifting down into it.
I hope we will find the submarine locks of Euclidia helpless as we left them.
If you were right about how long they'd stay bottled up in there, we're okay.
It will be only a short time until we know.
How fast are we falling?
5,000 feet a minute.
Gee, that's falling pretty fast. Can we check it when we get ready?
I have tested my helium tanks. We have sufficient gas to inflate the shell and land gently.
How will we be able to tell what the Euclideans are doing?
The instant we land, I will be able to give you a full report on that.
Well, how, if you don't mind telling me?
I have directional radio beam receivers in this plane. They will register the slightest metallic disturbance. If we encounter none within a reasonable distance of the underwater city, we may be sure the Euclideans are not operating outside the confines of the city.
You seem to have covered everything. How's the altitude?
18,000 feet.
Lost 7,000 feet already.
Precisely.
How about radioing to Mrs. Gregory's boat and finding out what they're doing?
I would not recommend that as yet.
I suppose it would be better to wait until we're sure about those Euclideans.
That is my opinion. G47 and his scientists would make a desperate attempt to escape with at least a chosen few of the Euclideans.
Yeah, and he might succeed.
He would succeed very easily if he wanted to take only his chief scientists.
They'd use the same surface lock we escaped from, I suppose.
Exactly.
But they wouldn't take any boat, no way of getting away from that position.
Not for any great distance, to be sure. But they have life rafts which could be inflated and float them for some time.
I'd hate to be playing around among the sharks in a rubber lifeboat for very long.
Those boats are not rubber. They are made of very thin copper. They do not tear easily, and the Euclideans' ray guns would discourage the sharks for some time.
Nice party we're getting into.
It does present difficulties. However, I believe we will overcome them.
That right? 11,000 feet?
Yes.
Falling more than 5,000 a minute, then.
I think not.
Have you anything strong enough to steady that water through at this altitude?
Naturally. That slender copper tube set into the panel before you. Pull the tube downward.
Like this? Ouch!
Yes, Captain. That is correct.
Maybe, but I don't like my telescope hitting me in the head.
Its length is greater than you would expect. You may now look downward through it.
Don't you have to aim it at anything?
That is a reflecting telescope with a lens perfected on Euclidia. You will be able to sweep a mile section of ocean surface clearly from this altitude.
Which is,
8,000 feet.
Anything I can do about the particular part of the ocean I might want to look at?
Not with that instrument. It is, however, perhaps the most effective thing you could use at this time. The focal center of that telescope is synchronized automatically with the center of our landing area. And if we change course or angle of descent, your scope will change with us.
Good enough for me. Our landing area is exactly what I want to be looking at.
The graduated scale on the shaft may aid you in focusing.
Yes, I'm trying it, but there doesn't seem to be... Yes. Hold everything, Elaine.
What do you see?
Take a look. You know more about what to expect than I do. I suggest you don't go down any lower until you do take a look.
I'm stabilizing at this altitude. We are now 5,000 feet.
Well, hurry up and look.
I am. And I see what you saw. That, Captain Bradford, is a Euclidean life raft with several persons aboard.
Which does what to us?
That remains to be seen.
Would they have a radio on that thing?
Undoubtedly.
Then if we radio Mrs. Gregory's boat, they'll hear it down there?
Probably.
Just the same, I've got an idea, and I'm going to try it out.
You are in command, Captain.
Have those Euclideans any way of knowing that we're almost out of fuel?
No. If we had not carried an excess load to Los Angeles and flown at excess speed coming back, we should have fuel for several hundred miles.
Good. Now I'm going to try something. And no matter how crazy it sounds, don't interrupt until I'm through.
Proceed, Captain. The transmitter is ready for you.
Bradford to Gregory boat. Bradford to Gregory boat. QRS. If you are getting me, make it snappy. We haven't any time to waste. This is emergent.
Hall is answering.
Can you hear me clearly, Jerry?
Swell. Go ahead.
We are over Euclidia. From the looks of things on the water, some of them are trying to escape. We are going down and drop some of my solvent on their raft. Naturally, they can't hold out long. If they came out of where we think they did, they'll have to jump for their lives and dive down into that airlock again. Have you got that much of it?
Got it all. What do we do?
Just keep coming as fast as you can. We'll set down over that lock and anchor the solvent around Euclidia where it will do the most good. I just want you to know our plans so you'll understand that we'll be on the water and saving our radio power if you don't hear for some time.
Okay. I'll tell Mrs. Gregory. Everything's fine here, and we're getting 21 knots out of this old tub.
Good work, kid. Now keep your chin up. We'll be seeing you. That's all. Cut the transmitter.
I have done so.
Well, how about it?
It was an excellent idea, Captain. Now we shall see if the Euclideans are taking it seriously.
Well, if they didn't hear it, we'll have to do it all over again.
Would Jerry understand?
You bet he would. That boy doesn't ask any questions till he knows the meeting's open.
There is some activity in the life raft below.
Are they getting ready to leave it?
I cannot be sure, but it looks as if they are indeed putting on their helmets.
And we'd better get down there to make this attack of ours look as real as we can.
Agreed. We descend.
How quick can we get down there?
Allowing for time to circle as we descend, keeping that point under the axis of our circle, we should land in 120 seconds.
And can they all get back into that lock in 2 minutes?
Hardly. Not and deflate the raft.
Good. That's what I want, that raft. See just how fast you can get down to them. If they abandon that raft, we may find supplies on that will do us a lot of good during the next 6 days.
Correct, Captain. We will descend as rapidly as possible.
And if our bluff doesn't work, if G-47 has nerve to stay on top of the water and see this thing through, well, we haven't a chance in the world of beating him.
I believe we have. This plane will afford us much more protection than an open raft, and we can easily extinguish their lives with our heavy ray guns.
Oh, none of that, Elaine. You don't seem to get the idea that in our world we don't go around killing people. Either we'll take these Euclideans prisoners one of these days, or they'll take us again.
Yours is a strange world, Captain, but I realize that you are right.
However, it's mighty poor satisfaction to be right if you lose out.
I think you will not lose, Captain Bradford.
What do you see now?
You watch through the scope. I will maneuver for a landing.
Yeah. They're leaving the raft. And they're getting off fast. Say, they won't have time to take it with them.
That is well.
Drop down there just as fast as you can. We'll grab it.
I would suggest not rushing into a landing in that exact spot, Captain Bradford.
But I'd like to get the provisions off the raft.
Precisely. And G-47 knows that beyond a doubt, or at least suspects that you want the raft.
But we're running out of fuel.
We have run out.
All gone?
There is no more fuel.
And we'll have to land right on that spot if we're going to make sure they stay down under.
I will have enough compressed helium to use for surface maneuvers for several days, I believe, and I advise against landing near that raft.
But why? They can't hurt us. Now look, the last man is going over the side of that raft now. They can't have anything on but those temporary diving helmets, and they haven't any choice but to get back into that lock.
Nevertheless, with your permission, I will land at least 100 yards from that raft.
Well, I can't see any reason for it, but I know you must have one.
I have. And in a very few seconds, I will show you an active demonstration of my reason.
Well, what are you going to do?
I am gliding toward that raft, exactly as if I expected to land there. But at the last second, I will elevate the nose of this plane and attempt to glide beyond the raft, passing over it at an elevation of about 50 feet.
And then?
I am not sure, but I would suggest that you brace yourself firmly in that seat.
I begin to get the idea. They're not going to leave that raft helpless for us to pick up so easily.
That is my thought. Brace yourself tightly. I will now glide above the raft, and we will see what G-47 has left for us. What do you think now, Captain?
I think that's about as close to getting blown to bits as I ever want to come.
It was indeed too near for comfort. I will now land as gently as possible, though you might preserve your position of self-protection, as I do not want to waste our helium in landing perfectly.
Well, save the gas. Go ahead and smack the water as hard as this ship will stand. After the tossing around that explosion gave us, I can stand anything.
Brace yourself. We will now land.
Okay.
are now stabilized on the surface of the water.
How far from that airlock?
Approximately 200 yards from the spot at which the raft was blown up.
Good. Now, I suggest you use a little of the gas to get back directly over that airlock. Then we'll take steps to bottle the Euclidians up good and tight.
Very well.
Have you any of those magnetic bombs?
Several.
All right. Use a couple of them to hold that airlock shut. And we'll save my solvent until we actually have to use it.
Agreed. I will release a bomb when we are over the lock. One such charge will paralyze the lock for 2 hours.
Good. And after I'm sure those fellas can't get at me, I'll dive down there and fix some of the solvent to the lock gate. Then we'll be safe indefinitely.
Excellent. Well, Captain Bradford, it looks as if you are in command of the city of Euclidia at last. We are directly over the lock. The city is powerless.
Now, step into the incredible, amazing future as we go exploring tomorrow. And now, here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction magazine, John Campbell, Jr.
The essential character of any frontier you explore is that if you get into it and stick your neck out, you get it lopped off, and there's no help. The frontier is the place where there isn't any reserve, where there isn't anyone to help you if you get into trouble. There is no support. Tonight's story is a story of a true frontier. You know, sometimes the frontier lies just the other side of a doorway. It doesn't seem very different. It can be the difference between life and sudden death. We are in a somewhat different position. We can summon support here. I can push my little push button here and summon our supporters. You know, when we think of that glamorous future, we sometimes tend to forget that things cost money now and things will cost in the future. Let's suppose that there are ships and they are going out between the worlds. They carry emergency supplies for expeditions that may be in trouble on some of the planets that are being explored. But they can't carry an extra lot of them. It costs too much. They carry parachutes, in effect, to drop them as they flash by the world that's in trouble. Little parachutes for space, a plastic bubble with a tiny motor, just enough to lower it down to the planet without destruction. They'd probably use human pilots to do it, too. Because, you know, a human brain is the lightest of all computing devices. It's lighter than an electronic computer. It would be cheaper and wiser to use human pilots to drop these little plastic bubble parachutes of space to a planet in trouble. Let's consider one where there's an expedition that's gotten into medical trouble. The men are sick and they need a serum that they don't have. They've called for help from one of the passing interstellar liners. The liner has stopped for a moment, dropped one of its little space parachutes, and gone on its way, flashing on to some other star somewhere else. And that emergency dispatch ship, that little space parachute, the pilot discovers...
Somebody who shouldn't be there is in that supplies closet. The gauge is never wrong. It says there's a living human body inside that closet radiating heat. Come on out, chum. Open that door, I'll open it. Come on out. Oh, no.
All right. I give up. Now what?
Sit down.
All right. Well, you still haven't told me. I mean, what happens now? Do I pay a fine or something?
What are you doing here?
Well, I just wanted to see my brother, that's all.
Your brother?
Mm-hmm. He's on Woden. He's with Group 2.
Oh.
I haven't seen him for 10 years, ever since he went there.
What's his name?
Cross. Jerry Cross. Do you know him?
Only his name. I've never met him.
Oh, I was only 8 years old when he left.
What was your original destination aboard the Stardust?
Mimir. I had a job to go to.
You knew you were breaking a rule when you stowed away on this ship.
Oh, I knew I was breaking some kind of regulation.
Is that all it means to you?
Well, I'm
There was a sign posted there. Didn't you see it?
A sign?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the one that said unauthorized personnel keep out?
That's the one.
Oh, well, I guess I saw it.
And ignored it.
Oh, come on. Now, look, don't be so grim.
How did you manage to stow away?
Oh, it was easy. I just saw my chance and acted on impulse. I saw there was plenty of room in that closet, and so here I am.
Yeah, here you are.
Oh, please, don't worry. I'll be a model criminal or prisoner or whatever it is I am now. And I'll pay for my keep, too. And when we get to Woden, well, I'll make myself useful.
Quiet.
Sorry.
You have an identification disc?
Yes?
Give it to me.
Well, my name is Marilyn. Marilyn.
Let me have the disc.
Okay. Will I get it back?
No.
Oh, but
I'm sorry, I need the information on it. I have to put it all in my report.
But when you've got all the information, surely I'll get it back. I need it.
Do you know why I'm flying this ship to Woden?
No.
No idea?
Well, I know the Stardust got a message. I suppose you're taking extra equipment.
I'm taking serum.
Oh.
If I don't get that serum to Woden, 6 men are going to die.
My brother, too?
Not if he's with Group 2. He's 28,000 miles away from all this. On the opposite side of the planet.
Opposite side? Well, then how will I get to see him?
You're not going there. I'm sorry.
Look, I don't understand. You are going to Woden.
Yes,
well, then if...
but you're not. You're going to leave this ship.
You mean I won't get to see Jerry?
I'm afraid not.
Oh, please.
I told you I'm sorry.
Well, what are you going to do, radio some other ship to have me take him back?
There are no other ships to radio.
Well, then...
Don't you understand?
No.
You can't stay aboard this ship.
What am I supposed to do? Jump overboard out into space?
You won't have to jump.
What?
You'll be jettisoned. You won't feel a thing. Sometimes the universe seems cruel. I think that's a mistake. It isn't cruel, but it is ruthless. You must learn the lessons. And once you've learned them, you're all right. Unless you forget them. I'm afraid that girl forgot that there were frontiers. That there were places where there was no help.
You are joking.
These are not things you joke about.
No, you can't mean all this.
There is nothing anyone can do for you.
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I just can't believe you're really serious. But you are. You do mean that you're going to make me die.
It's the way it has to be.
No.
No human being in the universe can help you.
Please, oh, please.
Nobody wants it this way. Nobody would ever let it be this way if it were humanly possible to change it.
I can't believe it.
I told you, this ship is carrying fever serum to 6 men on Woden. All 6 will die unless I get there.
I know you told me.
A small ship like this one is provided with barely enough fuel to get to its destination. If you stay aboard, your added weight, once we hit gravity, will cause it to use up all its fuel before we land. That means, in simple terms, you and I will die and 6 other men will die waiting for the serum.
Is that it?
That's it.
Just that? We don't have enough fuel?
Yeah.
Shall I just die alone or take 7 other men with me?
That's how it stacks up.
And nobody really wants me to die?
Nobody does.
Well, maybe... I mean, are you sure nothing...
Nothing can be done for you.
I just can't believe this is real. Less than an hour ago, I was a passenger on the Stardust. Now I'm on this ship, and I'm going to die, and nobody cares.
That's not true. We all care. It's different out here. It's not like being back on Earth.
I'll never see Mom and Daddy again. I'll never see Jared. I'll never see anything again.
Hasn't Hasn't your brother ever written to you?
Yes.
What did he talk about?
Things. I mean, well, all the things he was doing and how much he wanted to see us all again.
Didn't he ever tell you about frontier law?
What?
Look, out here we live by a different set of values.
I don't know anything about frontier law.
You ignored a warning. Out here you can only make that mistake just once. Oh, a lot of mistakes have been made. And a lot of men have died making them.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know about frontiers. I don't know about fuel or what was going to happen to me. I don't want to die. Why should I have to die? Just because I wanted to see my brother.
What's the use of trying to make her understand? What do I do? Quote the regulation tour, paragraph L, section 8, interstellar regulations, quote, any stowaway discovered aboard an emergency dispatch ship will be immediately upon discovery jettisoned into space, period, end quote. And what good would it do to her anyway? Okay, so H amount of fuel will not power an EDS with a massive M plus X safely to its destination. How could she understand that? Look at her. 18 years old, brown curly hair, blue eyes, weight 110 pounds. And to me, she's just the unwanted factor in a very cold equation.
Crying won't help, will it? I mean, you're going to radio my brother.
If you want me to.
What will you tell him?
Nothing. I'll let you tell him.
Oh, I'm almost afraid to hear his voice. You'll make him sound so near to me. And all the time he'll be so far away. Just a voice. That's all he'll be, just a voice.
I'll call him anyway. All right.
Yes.
Barton, EDS 34G11, emergency. Come in, Woden. Group 2, identify yourselves, please. This is a call for Jerry Cross. Please come in.
Jerry? Jerry, where are you? Jerry, why didn't you answer? Jerry, they're going to let me die.
Keep quiet. They're coming on now. Whatever happens, a man will always try to find some way out, even when he knows it's impossible. He'll still make a try. But sometimes, particularly on the frontiers, you're up against the problem that there isn't any way out. You're up against it.
Wait, I didn't hear.
He said, goodbye, little sister.
Oh. I had so much more to talk about.
He knew that.
Was it really him?
It was your brother.
His voice sounded changed.
10 years ago, he was a little more than a boy. Now he's a man. His voice has changed.
Did I sound frightened when I talked to him?
No, you sounded fine.
Oh. How long do I have?
Oh, a little while.
What'll happen to me afterwards, I mean?
Nothing, I guess.
I'll just go on floating in space, is that it?
Something like that.
May I see?
See what?
Out there. Can I see it on the view screen?
Yeah, sure. There.
Well, there's nothing there. There's nothing at all. Well, there's some stars over there. I didn't see them. I was thinking of Mom and Daddy. They don't even know yet I'll never be going back to them, like I promised I would. It's funny, the things you remember. Like the time when I was only 6 years old, and my kitten got run over in the street. And the way Jerry held me in his arms and told me not to cry. And when I woke up in the morning, there she was on my bed, with a brand new white fur coat. Just like Jerry had promised. It was a long time after that when Mama told me Jerry had gone to the pet shop at 4 a.m. He got the man out of bed and told him if he didn't produce a white kitten, somebody's neck was going to be broken. So the man found a white kitten for me.
You'll be gone soon. The little hand on that gauge will go back to 0 and the equation will be balanced again.
time yet?
What?
Is it time yet?
Time?
For me?
Almost.
How will it happen?
You'll go into that compartment. It's an airlock. And that's about all.
Oh, no, it can't be all. You'll do something.
I'll simply push a button.
And I'll be shot out into space.
I told you, you won't feel anything.
Yes, you told me that. I'm very grateful.
You're all right?
I keep thinking everybody has to die sooner or later. It's no worse for me than anyone else, is it? Except most people don't know when it's going to happen, and I do.
You understand I have no power to help you. No power anywhere could help you out here.
All right.
If there was just one... But there isn't.
I know. Jerry understood that.
Yeah. Your brother's quite a guy.
He said everything will be all right. It will, won't it?
Everything, yes.
All right, I'm ready. Tell me what to do.
When I pull this lever, that door will open. Just walk into the chamber.
Please hurry up. Do I walk in now?
Yeah.
It's cold in here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It doesn't really matter. Goodbye. You've been awfully kind.
Goodbye, honey.
Please close the door.
Marilyn.
Yes?
There's no hatred, no malice in what I have to do.
I know.
Bye now. EDS 34G11, calling Group 1 on Planet Woden. Come in, please. I'm landing in just 10 minutes. We have to learn in this world of ours. And some of the things that we learn make us feel that we're real tough and real strong, and boy, we can take it. Next time, we've got a story about a kid who was sure he was tough, a real tough guy. Until he ran up against some people who were in the business of learning things. Sometimes you have to find out such things as whether a man's eyeballs fall out when he's decelerated too suddenly. These men aren't tough. They're just curious.
Join us again next week on both Wednesday and Friday nights when John Campbell returns with more of his fascinating talk and stories while exploring tomorrow. Tonight you heard Mason Adams and Joyce Gordon in our cast. Script was by John Fleming, from a story written by Tom Godwin. Produced and directed by Sanford Marshall here in New York.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. Returning by train from a short but adventurous vacation in the North Woods, Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen seem to have stumbled on something that smacks of mystery. To begin with, Jimmy became fascinated by the nervous, shifty-eyed behavior of a little gray-haired man seated across the aisle. And when Kent bought an afternoon paper and found the man's picture on the front page, Jimmy's imagination knew no bounds. According to the news story accompanying the picture, the man was Dr. Roebling, inventor of a new and startling communications device. However, when Kent attempted to interview him, he denied his name was Dr. Roebling and hurried into the dining car, leaving behind a piece of crumpled paper bearing a strange message. As the fast express roars into the night, both Jimmy and Kent have their heads bent low over the scrap of paper.
What does it say, Mr. Kent?
It says, this is your last warning.
What can that possibly mean? Last warning about what?
I don't know, Jimmy. Whoever wrote it certainly wasted no words. This is your last warning. Might mean anything. There's absolutely no way to figure it out.
Maybe we ought to turn it over to the conductor and have him notify the police at the next stop.
If our friend Roebling or Harris or whatever his name is wanted police protection, he would have asked for it a long time ago. Evidently, receiving this note didn't bother him much.
Oh, I don't know about that. You remember I told you he looked like a man who was being shadowed? His eyes kept shifting and sort of sat hunched up in the seat like he wanted to make himself small.
I think you're imagining most of that, Jimmy.
Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, I happened to notice him. He kept looking over his shoulder and watching everybody who came through the car. He's a suspicious character, all right, believe me.
Jimmy, you've been reading too many detective stories. What do you mean, suspicious character? Poor old man is probably just trying to dodge curiosity seekers. That is, if he's really Dr. Roebling.
Oh, of course he is, Mr. Kent. Look at that picture in the paper. Look at it. Same bald spot on the front of his head, same gray hair and back, and the same thin nose. It can't be anybody else.
Well, you make it sound very convincing, Jimmy.
Let's go into the dining car, huh, Mr. Kent?
Don't tell me you're hungry this early. Oh, I get it. You want to stick close to our mysterious friend.
Well, it's partly that.
All right. But please remember to keep your voice down. We don't want everyone on the train to know that we're snooping into Dr. Roebling's business.
Okay. I'll talk in whispers. Can we go now?
I think so. Jimmy, you haven't touched your chicken.
Oh, yeah. I'll eat it.
Do you know that you've been staring at him constantly for the last 5 minutes?
I'm sorry.
You want to play detective, don't make it so obvious.
I wasn't looking at him. I was watching the lady who sat down at his table. She's been talking to him.
Oh, you make that sound like a crime. What if she is talking to him? Is that against the law?
No, but it might be a clue to something.
I'm beginning to feel sorry we ever discovered that picture in the paper. From now on, your every waking moment is going to be concerned with clues and suspicious characters and heaven knows what else.
Oh, you're just making fun of me. But you wait and see. Something's going to happen.
What was that?
Oh, Dr. Roebling keeled over.
You stay here, Jimmy. All right, miss. Don't get excited. I'll lift you back on the chair. There. Now let me have that glass of water.
No, don't give him any water, please.
What?
No, he's my father. This happens quite often, really. He suffers from vertigo, fainting spells.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you could call the conductor, I'd appreciate it. He'll be much better off in the drawing room. He has some medicine there.
Oh, I'll be glad to help your father to the drawing room, Miss Roebling. There. You just lead the way. I'll carry him.
Thank you so much.
I beg your pardon, please. Do you mind?
Just stretch him out in the lower berth.
There you are.
I don't know how to thank you for your kindness, Mr.
Kent. Clark Kent. If there's anything else I can do before I leave...
Oh, no, thank you. I'll give Dad some of his medicine and he'll be all right. I'm sorry we caused a disturbance in the dining car.
Oh, it was nothing. Well, good night, Miss Roebling.
Mr. Kent, before you go...
Yes?
I'm curious about something. How did you know my name?
Well, that's easy to explain. I knew your father was Dr. Roebling.
You'd met him before?
No, but he was seated opposite me in the club car, and I happened to notice his picture in the afternoon paper.
Oh, I see. That explains it, of course.
Well, good night again.
Good night, Mr. Kent. Thank you.
Not at all. Well, still not finished with your meal, Jimmy?
What's vertigo, Mr. Kent?
Huh? Why, it's a form of dizziness that sometimes results in fainting spells.
What does it come from?
I don't know, Jimmy.
Well, I was right, wasn't I, Mr. Kent? He really is Dr. Roebling. And you were making fun of me.
I apologize.
Well, that's all right. And that lady's his daughter, huh?
That young lady, Jimmy. She's very charming.
Gosh, Mr. Kent, you're not falling for her, are you?
Finish your ice cream and stop asking silly questions.
I don't suppose you mentioned that warning message to her, did you?
Of course not.
Are you going to?
Well, I may if I see her in the morning. You all finished?
Uh-huh.
What about your milk?
Oh, I'm too full.
Finish that milk. If you begin losing weight on these jaunts around the country, we'll just have to cut them out.
All right, I'll finish it.
Waiter.
Yeah?
Check, please.
Yeah, I got it right here.
$3.20. All right, here you are.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I'm finished. Where are we going now?
Back to the club car for an hour or so and then to bed. We can both use some sleep. Come on. Why don't you read, Jimmy? How about this hunting and fishing magazine?
No, I don't want to read. I'm thinking.
What are you thinking about?
Oh, a lot of things. That newspaper story said Dr. Roebling had invented a communications device, didn't it?
Yes.
I wonder what a communications device could be.
Well, there are just so many methods of communication. Telephone, radio, telegraph. That's about all, except for the signaling methods, flags, and smoke pots.
Well, do you think Dr. Roebling's device has something to do with sending messages?
Possibly.
Well, must be something. He won't even talk about it and tries to pass himself off as someone else.
Well, I don't blame him a bit. Undoubtedly, his invention has great military value. I wouldn't be at all surprised if the government has taken it over. A new secret method of communicating over long distances would be a boom to any nation at war. It would eliminate the necessity of having to use code.
Train slowing down.
Coming into a station, I guess.
Yep. You didn't find out whether Dr. Roebling and his daughter were going to Metropolis, did you, Mr. Kent?
No, Jimmy, no. My bump of curiosity isn't as large as yours. I don't ask people personal questions 5 minutes after meeting them.
Mr. Kent.
Yes?
Could I see that warning message Dr. Roebling dropped?
If I can find it. Yes, here it is.
Oh, thanks. This is your last warning. That's funny.
What's funny about it?
Well, in the first place, it isn't signed. How could Dr. Roebling tell who sent it?
Well, since it isn't signed, we can assume he knew who sent it. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about that message at dinner tonight before Dr. Roebling fainted. It may be very innocent, and we're just getting excited about nothing.
No, sir. No, sir, this note is a threat. Well, look at the way it's printed. Like a kindergarten kid prints.
Now you're blossoming out as a handwriting expert, aren't you?
Oh, gee, I can't say anything without being criticized.
I'm not criticizing you, Jimmy. I just think it's amusing.
Well, you won't think it's so amusing if...
If what?
Oh, never mind.
Now, don't sulk, Jimmy. Where's your sense of humor? For all we know, this message may be very important. The fate of a nation might very well be hanging on it.
Now, there you go, making fun of me again.
Now, you're much too sensitive, Jimmy. Oh, well, maybe we'd better turn in. I'm going to stop by Dr. Roebling's drawing room and see whether he's all right. I may still get that interview.
Can I come along?
Oh, I suppose so. In the next car. Follow me. Be careful crossing this platform.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the room.
Maybe they're sleeping.
Oh, Miss Roebling couldn't be. It's only been a half hour since I left her.
No answer.
That's funny.
Here comes the conductor, Mr. Kent.
Good evening. Something I can do for you?
Why, yes, there might be. I can't seem to get any response from the people in this drawing room.
Oh? Friends of yours?
Yes. I don't think they're sleeping, and I'm concerned because one of them, an elderly gentleman, was ill early this evening. Can the door be opened from the outside?
Yes. I carry the only key. We're not supposed to use it except in emergencies.
Well, this is an emergency.
Try knocking again.
It's no use.
What's your friend's name?
Roebling. Dr. Roebling.
Let me check this passenger list. Drawing room C, car 421. What'd you say the name was?
Roebling. R-O-E-B-L-I-N-G.
No party by that name in this drawing room, mister. You sure you got the right car?
Well, of course this is the right car. I was in that room less than a half hour ago.
Now, look here. Drawing room C, car 421. Mr. and Mrs. Jack Smith.
Mr. and Mrs. Jack Smith. That's funny. Something's wrong somewhere.
Has Clark Kent made a mistake in the drawing room? Or is Jimmy Olsen's feeling that Dr. Roebling is a suspicious character thoroughly justified? Who are Mr. and Mrs. Smith? And what has happened to Dr. Roebling and his daughter? Be with us again for the next revealing episode.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. Speeding toward Metropolis on a fast express, Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen seem to have stumbled on a baffling mystery. When Dr. Roebling, famous inventor, collapsed in the dining car, Kent carried him into his drawing room and left him in the care of a young woman who said she was his daughter. Returning soon after with Jimmy to inquire as to whether the elderly gentleman had recovered, Kent could get no response to repeated knocks on the door. He explained the situation to a passing conductor who, upon examining his passenger list, informed Kent the drawing room was occupied by a Mr. and Mrs. Jack Smith and not by the Roeblings.
Here it is, mister. Right down on the card. Drawing room C, car 421. Mr. and Mrs. Jack Smith.
But I tell you, I brought Dr. Roebling into this room less than a half hour ago.
I'm sorry, but I gotta go by what's on the card.
Mr. Kent.
What is it, Jimmy?
Maybe Dr. Roebling was traveling under the name of Smith. Didn't he use a fake name when you spoke to him in the club car?
Yes, that's a possibility. Now, look, conductor, this is a serious matter.
I got no authority to open that door, mister.
Well, who has the authority?
The train master.
Where is he?
Up the head of the train checking tickets.
Would you mind getting him for me?
It'll take some time. He's 7 cars up, but I'll tell him.
Thank you.
The old sourpuss. He said he had a key. Why couldn't he open the door?
Well, it may be beyond his authority. We'll wait for the train master. In the meantime, would you do me a favor, Jimmy?
Oh, sure.
Go to our drawing room and get the pencil I left on the windowsill.
Sure, Mr. Kent. I'm on my way.
Be careful crossing the platform.
Okay.
That conductor thinks I'm going to wait for the train master. He's crazy. Clark Kent might need a key, but...
Superman can force the lock without any trouble. Here goes. Just a little more. That's it. Great Scott. The room's empty. How could they have gotten out with the door locked from the inside? Oh, I see. One of the windows is open. That doesn't make sense. Roebling was sick. Why should he and his daughter leave through a window? Something's wrong here. No baggage left behind. Nothing. I wonder
I
whether...
figured you were up to something like this.
Oh, it's you.
Yes, it's me. And you're going to be arrested for breaking into a room.
Now, wait a minute. This room is empty. Something happened to the occupant.
I don't care. All I know is that you're going to jail for illegal entry, and that's final.
Very White speaking. Yes? Good. Well, thank Judge Taylor for me and tell him I appreciate it.
Well, what happened, Mr. White?
Taylor released him in my custody.
Well, I know, but how did he happen to be arrested in the first place?
You got me, Lois. Fine thing. Daily Planet reporter pulled in like a common thief. I could throttle him with my bare hands.
Where's Jimmy?
Oh, he's with Kent. They left the courthouse 10 minutes ago. They should be here.
Oh, gee. Hi, Lois. Oh, Miss Lane.
Oh, greetings.
Don't you hello me, Kent. Close that door.
Oh, atmosphere around here is chilly. Colder than it was up north.
Well, I'll make it hot for you. Now, what's the big idea? Do you think I'm paying reporters to get themselves arrested? Do you think that...
now, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. I've got one of the biggest stories of the year, Mr. White.
I don't care if it's the biggest story of the century.
You care about this one. Dr. Roebling, inventor of that new secret communications device, was snatched off the train last night.
Kent, you're crazy.
Am I, Jimmy?
It's the truth, Mr. White.
It was lifted out of the window of a locked drawing room when the train stopped at Martin City. That's why I was arrested, for breaking into the room to find him. But he was gone. And so was his daughter.
Now, wait a minute. O'Brien, press room.
Yes?
Harry White, hold the front page of the 7-star final for replay.
Okay.
All right, Kent. Now, don't bother telling me about it. Get to a typewriter and give me at least a column. Fast.
Okay, Chief. You'll have it in 20 minutes.
Well, Mr. White certainly didn't waste any time after reading your story on Dr. Roebling, did he? All he said was, Kent, you and Lois drive up to Martin City and get to the bottom of this. Just like that.
Well, at least it made him forget about my being arrested.
You know, in all the excitement, I never did hear what happened after you broke into the drawing room.
Oh, the conductor caught me with the goods, as it were. Called the trainmaster, and Jimmy and I were taken off at the next stop and turned over to the police. I tried to talk my way out of it, but nobody would listen.
Somehow, that whole thing doesn't ring true, Clark. Very puzzling. You know, I checked on Roebling before we left Metropolis. To all appearances, he's been a hermit most of his life. Incidentally, what do you expect to find in Martin City?
Oh, search me. It was Mr. White's idea, not mine.
Well, you'd better start thinking. There it is up ahead. A city of 500,000 people, and we're looking for one old man and a girl.
All we can do is try.
Well, Mr. Kent, I can think of a lot more exciting things to do than sit in a hotel lobby all evening.
For instance?
Well, even a bad movie would be good compared to this.
That suits me. Can't do anything till morning at any rate. How about a movie?
Well, I take back what I said about a bad one. There isn't a good one in town. I think I'd rather go to bed.
Okay. I'll find out at the desk.
Why are you standing there like a wooden Indian, feet nailed to the floor?
Lois, see that blonde girl coming out of the elevator, the one with the green hat?
Yeah.
She's Roebling's daughter.
Are you sure?
Positive. Wait here. I'll be right back. Good evening, Miss Roebling.
Oh.
Don't you remember me?
I'm afraid you've made a mistake.
No, I haven't. I met you on the train last night. Your father suffered a fainting spell, and I carried him into his drawing room.
Oh, of course. I'm terribly sorry.
That's quite all right.
You see, I'm really not myself. Father is dangerously ill. He's at the hospital here in Martin City. That's why we got off the train rather suddenly.
Oh, that's too bad.
Do you live here, Mr. I believe I've forgotten your name.
Clark Kent.
Oh, yes, of course. Now I remember. Do you live in Martin City, Mr. Kent?
No. I just stopped off on business. I was sitting in the lobby with a friend of mine, a young lady, when I saw you step out of the elevator.
Strange that we should bump into one another again.
Yes, it's very strange. I'd like you to meet my friend.
I'd be delighted to.
She's over this way. Lois, this is Miss Roebling, Miss Lane.
Oh, how do you do, Miss Roebling? How do you do? Did you say Lane?
Yes, Lois Lane.
Oh, name sounds familiar. You've probably seen
No,
it.
it's quite common, Lois Lane. Or maybe you're thinking of the movie actress, Lola Lane.
Probably. Well, I'm sorry to have to rush off, but I'd like to get to the hospital. You'll excuse me.
Certainly.
Happy to have met you, Miss Lane. Good night. Good night.
Good night. I hope your father's better.
Thank you. Why did you break in on me like that?
You were about to tell her she probably saw your name in the Daily Planet, weren't you?
Well, yes, what of it? You don't think you're the only one who gets his name over his story?
No, don't go off the handle. I didn't want her to know we were reporters.
Why not?
Because there's something very rotten in Denmark. She told me her father's in the hospital here in Martin City. That's why they got off the train last night.
Through the window?
She didn't stop to explain how, and I have a faint suspicion she's lying.
There you go, building up fantastic stories. She seems like a thoroughly charming person.
You can't tell a book by its cover. I'm afraid we're not going to a movie tonight.
Why not?
We've got some checking to do. You call the hospitals and find out which one Roebling's at, if any. I'll check on the girl with the room clerk. Meet you back here.
All right.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Have you a Miss Roebling registered?
Roebling?
Yes.
Well, just a moment, sir. I'll see. No, I'm sorry, we haven't.
Well, she may have registered under another name.
Well, what is the name?
I really don't know, but I think she checked in sometime after 9 last night. It's very important that I locate her, and anything you can do to help me will be appreciated.
You say she may have checked in last night after 9.
That's right.
Well, let's see. There were only 2 registrations after 9 last night. One was a Mr. Miller, and the other was a Mr. and Mrs. Jack Smith.
What? Did you say Jack Smith?
Yes. Mr. and Mrs. Jack Smith.
That's it. What room are they in?
514.
Thank you very much. I thought something was wrong. Where's Lois? Oh, there she is, coming out of the phone booth. Lois?
Called all 3 hospitals. No Roebling.
Of course not. Remember my telling you the conductor on the train said a Mr. and Mrs. Jack Smith were occupying that drawing room?
Yeah.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Jack Smith are at this hotel, in room 514.
Well, what do we do?
Nothing tonight. You go on to bed. I'm going out for a walk.
Okay. Night.
Good night, Lois. I didn't think I'd get rid of Lois that easily. Now to investigate room 514 from the outside.
My breakfast is over here.
No, thank you. 514 must be in the rear because my room is 714 and this place is the back. I think I can duck through this alley. Now, here we are. Now the problem is to figure out which room is 514. Let's see, they start numbering from the left. The odd rooms face front and the even rooms face rear. That means 514 is the 7th room from the left on the 5th floor. Well, I'll take a chance.
As Superman. Up! Up! Now, if my figuring is correct, this is the window. The room's dark. So I'd better step inside and look around. Up with the window. Gently.
What will Superman find in room 514? A clue to the mysterious disappearance of Dr. Roebling? The identity of Mr. and Mrs. Jack Smith? Or will it be something he least expects? Be with us again for the next exciting episode.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Transcribed. Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Stand by to raise ship. Blast off minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0!
Roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. While Astro was held prisoner by mysterious smugglers on the planet Venus, his renegade cousin Mirko impersonated him at Space Academy. Managing to escape, Astro returned to the Academy where he, Tom Corbett, and Roger Manning captured Mirko. Now the 3 cadets have been summoned to the quarters of Commander Arkwright.
Astro, the Solar Alliance has requested you to undertake a highly important but extremely dangerous mission.
Me, sir?
Cadets Corbett and Manning, your cooperation is also requested.
I'm ready, sir. Same here. What's the mission, sir?
As you know, Mirko was caught smuggling out Neo-RDX, the most powerful explosive in the universe. He's confessed that the explosives are to be used in a bigger operation, raiding the space lanes.
Raiding? You mean piracy, sir?
Exactly. Mirko had a supra-high-frequency transmitter by which he contacted Beale from the Academy. This morning, intelligence persuaded Mirko to contact Beale. This is a tape recording of their conversation.
FC-394. Mirko calling Beale. FC-394. Mirko calling Beale. Come in, Beale.
Beale here. I've been trying to contact you, Mirko. Astro got away.
Yes, I know. He was here.
What?
Luckily, the fool came to the dormitory first. I was there alone, and I took care of him. We'll never have to worry about my dear, stupid cousin again.
Well, that's a relief. Nice work, Mirko.
Now, listen. I'm hiding the stuff aboard the rocket cruiser Polaris tonight. I've already given you the rocket schedule.
Right. We'll be ready to pick it up. Oh, wait just a minute. Stand by.
Right here, Beale was apparently interrupted, perhaps by the leader of the operation who gave him other instructions. You'll hear him again in a minute.
But, sir, what did Mirko mean? He took care of me.
We instructed him to say that, Astro. If Beale and the others believed you were dead, they'd feel safe in continuing to work with Mirko. Then we could put a dummy package aboard the Polaris, and intelligence officers could grab the gang when they picked it up.
Oh, I get it.
Okay, now, Mirko, listen sharp. Go ahead, Beale. Here's what you do. Since you're in that Polaris unit, you can bring the stuff out yourself.
Bring it myself. You mean to Venusport?
Well, now, maybe we ain't there no more.
Where are you?
We ain't quite settled on a place yet. We've got the Polaris schedule, so someplace along the line, one port or another, you'll be contacted.
Which port?
Ain't quite sure of that, neither. You just get yourself away from Corbett and Manning on all the spaceports, and we'll be in touch with you. So long, Mirko. See you later.
All right, that's the end of the recording. Now, do you understand your assignment, Astro?
I think so, sir. Mirko posed as me. Now you want me to pose as him and make contact with the gang.
Right. Find out all you can about them and their plans. But I must warn you, this assignment is extremely dangerous. They're obviously suspicious. That's why they want to see Mirko.
I realize that, sir.
So, you may refuse the assignment if you wish.
Refuse it? Not me.
Thank you. Cadets Corbett and Manning, you have the same choice. You needn't accompany Cadet Astro if you prefer not to.
I'll let that hillbilly get his neck in a sling without us? Not in a million years.
I beg your pardon, sir.
I understand, Manning. Cadet Corbett?
Count me in, sir, naturally.
Very well, then, cadets. You've made your decision, and I must say I'm proud of you. You will prepare to blast off in 2 hours. Use your heads and try to come home safely. Now, goodbye. And spaceman's luck to you all.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Tom Corbett, Astro, and Roger Manning are just about to blast off on another adventure in outer space. There they go. Say, how'd you like to have a picture of that? A picture that would show your favorite space cadets in action. You can, you know. All you have to do is collect the Space Cadet picture cutouts you'll find on the back of every regular-sized package of Kellogg's Pep. Soon you'll have picture cutouts of all the Space Cadets. You can cut them out and use them in your own Space Cadet adventures. Here's the latest special prize you get with every regular-sized package of Kellogg's Pep. Just look on the back of the package. Right there you'll see a swell picture made from an actual photograph. Each cutout is a full-length picture, too, so you can see the official Space Academy uniform. You see Dr. Dale in her full-dress uniform. Another package shows you Roger Manning wearing a spacesuit, the same kind the cadets wear out in space or on another planet. Astro and Tom are in uniform, too, all ready for you to set up in a Space Cadet scene. And remember, that picture cutout comes with the best-tasting whole wheat and malt cereal you ever tasted. Just rustle those flavorful wheat flakes into your cereal bowl tomorrow morning. You'll say the swellest cereal in the whole solar system is Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
In an attempt to discover the whereabouts and identity of a gang of men who plan to raid the space lanes, Tom, Roger, and Astro volunteer for a supposedly routine training flight in the rocket cruiser Polaris, hoping to lure the gang into a trap.
Well, this is Marsport. Here's your last chance to be a hero, Astro.
Nothing happened on Luna or Venus, and nothing will happen here either, Roger.
It certainly won't if Roger and I keep you surrounded like this. Listen, Astro, we'll kind of evaporate. You make like Mirko and amble around the spaceport alone.
I've ambled around almost every spaceport in the inner solar system, Tom, and all I've got to show for it is sore feet.
That's the only place you've got any feeling, leadhead. Come on, Roger. But don't worry, Astro. We'll be near to protect you.
Go blow your jets. Well, here we go again.
Hey, got a match?
Sorry.
Michael?
Oh, maybe I have.
Here, take these matches. Light one for me.
Oh, okay. You're making the contact?
I ain't out for the walk. Hey, watch it. You almost sprained me. What are you so nervous about?
Oh, I was thinking. Corbett and Manning. They're around here someplace.
Don't worry about them. Now listen. Walk around behind that far hangar. You'll see a little guy waiting there. Go with him. Well, go on. What are you waiting for?
What about Corbett and Manning?
I said forget about them. You just get going and lead them to us. We'll take care of them good.
Hey, Tom, look. Astro's leaving the spaceport. He's ducking behind that hangar.
Uh-huh. I think he's made contact. Come on, Roger, after him.
Hey, just a minute, fellas. Got a match?
No, sorry.
How about you?
No, let go of my arm.
You don't have to get so uppity. I just asked you.
All right, and I told you. Now blow, will you?
You'll show you fresh punks. Hey, fellas!
Hey, what gives?
Look, Roger, those three men. Pile in, boys.
Watch yourself, Roger. I can handle these jokers with one hand.
Get him, fellas. Slug him. Hey, the spaceport police. Come on, let's get out of here.
Come back here, you yellow space rats. What are you afraid of?
Knock it off, Roger. Let's get after Astro.
Astro? Jumping Jupiter. I almost forgot about him. Let's blast.
He went around this hangar.
See him? No sign of Astro anywhere, Tom. What do we do now?
Nothing we can do but go back to the Polaris and hope Astro shows up.
Here he is, Bill. Signed, sealed, and delivered.
Okay. You can take his blindfold off now, Nicky.
There you are, Marco.
Hey, what's the idea, Beale? They made me keep this blindfold on all the way from Marsport.
Well, now, lad, we couldn't take no chances. You might be the other one.
Astro? Well, this should make you change your mind.
Neo RDX.
That's right. Convinced now?
Let's see.
Well?
Yeah. This looks like the stuff, all right. Well, you know how it is, Mirko. We had to make sure. This is a big deal we're in. Real big.
Yeah, I know. Listen, Beale, when do we start operating?
That's none of your business, Mirko.
Oh, now, look, why all the secrecy with me? I'm risking my neck for you guys. I even killed a man.
You're being well paid for it. Here. Here's your money.
Oh, thanks.
Nicky will take you back to your ship. When you get back to the academy, contact me and I'll tell you where to pick up the next load. Now I know you're okay. We'll carry on the way we started.
Okay. So long, Beale.
Be good, kid. Yeah, Beale here.
Beale, this is Valdor.
Yes, sir. Did you watch him through the teleceiver I hooked up?
Yes, he looked like Mirko.
Sure. I guess we were too suspicious.
Why, wait. Did you notice he didn't try to get more out of you this time? He didn't even count what you gave him.
Yeah. See, that's right. He's okay, though. He brought us the Neo RDX.
Place it directly in front of the teleceiver lens so I can see it clearly.
It's the right stuff.
Do as I tell you.
Okay, Valdor. See? It's the right
Where
stuff.
are the detonators?
Huh?
The detonators, you fool. That explosive can't be set off without the special detonators.
Well, you ain't here.
Get Mirko back, hurry.
Too late. They just took off.
There's a radio in the jet boat. Call Nicky at once and tell him to bring Mirko back.
Roger, wait! Roger, look, it's Astro. The old Venusian hillbilly himself. Space boy, we were worried about you. We're in blazes.
Look, fellas, no time to talk now. We gotta blast off fast. Come on.
Why? What's the rush? What happened?
Beale must have noticed by now I didn't bring the detonators. I pulled the audio wire in Nicky's jet boat so Beale couldn't call him, but they might have other contacts here. Come on. Climb into the airlock and let's blast.
All right now, Astro. Let's find out if you're still in the gang's confidence. Contact Beale.
Yes, Commander Arkwright.
And you two boys, stay absolutely quiet.
Yes, sir. FC-394, Mirko calling Beale. Come in, Beale. FC 394, Mirko to Beale. Come in.
Beale here. Listen, Mirko, what happened to the detonators?
Oh, they're what?
Quiet, Roger.
The what?
The detonators. The little ball-like caps made out of vanadium. The explosive's no good without them.
I don't know anything about them, Beale.
You must have got them with the Neo-RTX.
All they found in the locker was the package I brought up to you.
Sure?
Positive.
Blast those jokers. They've messed it up then. Well, they'll have to get us a double supply this time. Now listen, Mirko. Here are your orders.
Go ahead.
Thursday night, you slip out of the academy. At 9:40, a westbound monorail leaves the village heading for Atom City. Get on it. Sit in the second car from the end. Got that?
A westbound monorail at 9:40 Thursday. Right. Then what?
You'll be contacted on the car. When you get the stuff, secure it behind the rudder assembly on the next Academy rocket ship, making a training flight to main solar ports. Then relay is scheduled to me. Check?
Check.
Right then. That's all. So long, Mirko.
You know, Tom, riding around the monorail train like this is a lot of fun. But has any one of these monorails ever fallen off the track?
Well, not that I know of.
Well, looks kind of dangerous hanging from that one rail going at this speed. Relax, will you? We've got bigger worries. Hey, we're slowing down. Think maybe something will happen here?
Let's hope so.
Where's Astro?
Still in the car ahead. Oh, keep your face on that newspaper now. We're stopping.
Not too many people getting on.
But one important guy is getting on.
Who?
Nicky, that character that picked a fight with us at Marsport.
Oh, great.
Roger, Nicky just motioned to Astro.
Yeah, and Astro's getting up, walking to the door.
Nicky's right alongside. They're getting off. Come on.
We getting off, too?
What do you think? Hurry.
But Nicky may spot us.
We'll have to take that chance. Maybe if we move fast enough and duck behind one of the station pillars, he won't.
Might work. It's kind of dark out there.
Move fast, Roger.
All set.
Come on. Down these steps. Duck behind here and hold still.
Right. You see Astro?
Wait a minute. Hey!
What's the matter?
Nicky tricked us. He and Astro didn't get off.
Jumping Jupiter. There goes the monorail. And Astro's on it.
What's the matter with you, Nicky? Can't you make up your mind? Why did we get off?
Because I changed my mind. That's why, Mirko. Now move up into the front car.
Why?
Because I tell you.
Wait a minute. Who do you think you're ordering around?
You, Buster. You think I didn't recognize those two jokers in the back car? They were Corbett and Manning.
What? But
Yeah,
I didn't...
I know. You said you ducked them. But I just made sure you did. Now move.
Well, what's in the front car?
Exactly what you're after, Mirko. And maybe a little more. Okay, cross over.
Well, what now? There's nobody here.
Sure there is, Mirko, my boy.
Beale. Well, you fellas sure do a lot of traveling.
This trip was worth it. I made it special. Just to introduce you to someone you've been wanting to meet.
Who?
The name is Valdor.
Valdor?
Yes, Beale tells me you've been rather curious about me.
Well, you're the head of this whole operation.
That's right, Mirko, and I must confess I've been curious about you, too.
Have?
Yes, and the answer to one question will satisfy my curiosity, Mirko.
Oh, well, go ahead. Shoot.
When and where did you meet our friend Beale?
Why, it was back home on Venus. We did a job together, and that's all.
It certainly is for you, Astro.
Why, you dirty space crawler.
Watch him.
I am. Hold still, big boy.
I'll burn a hole through you with this heat ray.
So you thought you could trap me, Astro, by using the same trick by masquerading as your cousin Mirko?
You're already trapped, Valdor. The Solar Guard knows all about you.
How could they when you didn't even know?
Tom and Roger saw me on this monorail, and they saw Nicky, too.
Your friends are far behind, and when they finally catch up to you, it'll be too late.
You think so, huh?
I know so. In a very few minutes, we will pass over a high chasm. There'll be a drop of some 400 or 500 feet, and this spells an accident. An extremely fatal accident.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Listen to those giant presses. They're turning out new, completely new packages for the Kellogg Company. Each package is in bright new colors, gay new pictures. And do you know what's going into those packages? Kellogg cereals. A big selection of the world's finest breakfast foods, yours in new picture packages. You want to see all the new faces on the Kellogg's. You want to try all the swell Kellogg cereals. And just for an example, listen to this. On the back of every regular-sized package of Kellogg's Pep, there's a picture of one of the Space Cadets or Dr. Dale. It's a full-length picture cutout showing one of the official Space Academy uniforms. You can get as many as 4 different picture cutouts because different Pep packages have different cutouts. But one thing is still the same, and that's the swell whole wheat cereal you get inside. See other Kellogg packages at your game.
Did you see what display in brand new boxes, bright and gay? These famous cereals come your way. Go see this eyeful. The Kellogg's All-Star Breakfast Show has a cheerful look, a lift for you. Starts you off with a hoop-de-doo. Kellogg's for breakfast and a happy, happy day. Get a big supply today.
Yes, get a big supply today of the great Kellogg cereals in their bright new boxes.
As the monorail trail hurtens through the night, suspended from a single gleaming rail and rapidly nears a wide, deep chasm, Astro faces death at the hands of the men he tried to trap. But meanwhile, some distance behind in a single monorail car speeding along a parallel track, Tom and Roger try desperately to catch up to their friend.
Can't you make this old crate go faster, Tom? She's wide open, Roger. Don't worry, we're picking up time on that train. They still say we should have commandeered an auto jet. We would have caught up by now. And how would we have gotten aboard the train? No, Commander Arkwright picked the best idea. Lucky this work car was parked on a siding at that last station. Well, all right, but suppose another train shows up on this track. We'll be in great shape then. The commander said he'd see that all traffic was cleared for us. Now stop griping, will you? Okay, but blasted, I wish we'd spot that train. Wait, there it is. See those red lights? Great galaxy, that's it. Come on, we've got to catch up. We can't miss now.
Close to the chasm. Less than a minute away.
Very good. Open this side door, Beale, and you, Nicky, stand by the door between the cars. See that none of the passengers interrupt us.
All right, Valdo. Door's open, Valdo.
Thank you, Beale. Move up to it, Astro.
Oh, no, I won't.
Take your choice. Jump by yourself or be thrown out.
All right, big shot. You throw me if you can.
Easily done. Beale, the parallel ray. Freeze him first.
Wait a minute, Valdo. It's another monorail catching up on the next track. Someone in the front cabin. It's that cadet, Corbett.
Tom!
And the other one's leaning out of the side door. The car's coming alongside.
Gangway! Stop him quickly! Come on, Astro! Jump for it!
No, you don't.
Out of my way, Junior!
Oh.
Come on, Astro! What are you waiting for? Not a thing, pal. Here I come! Well, if it hadn't been for you guys, I'd be flying through 500 feet of nothing right now. Those guys really meant business.
Well, they're going bankrupt in a few minutes, Astro. As soon as their monorail stops at the next station, they'll get an escort of honor. A squad of solar guards. Suppose they jumped the train before that. Yeah, where'll they jump? Straight down? Not a chance. The whole gang is wrapped up for good.
Hey, those words are music to my ears. Jupiter, I'm glad this operation is over.
It isn't yet, Astro. Tom and I saw another one of your relatives, and he looked real mean.
What? Where?
Early this evening, when we passed the zoo.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom, Corbett, Space Cadet, when Tom and Roger are ordered to guard a huge sum of money and find themselves blasting through space with an escort of death. Tune in, same time, same station on Tuesday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Spaceman. This is Tom Corbett. Thousands of families have been driven from their homes by the floods in the Midwest, and they need our help now. And money from you and your parents will help them in this terrible emergency. So give to the Red Cross.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in today's cast were Jan Merlin, Al Markham, Carter Blake, Joe DeSantis, and Gilbert Mack. Today's program was written by Ben Peter Freeman, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other raisin brand but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's, because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
This program came to you from New York. The preceding was transcribed. America is sold on ABC, the American Broadcasting.
You, finding life rather dull, dreaming again of exotic places, wishing you were somewhere else? We offer you Escape.
Escape with us now to Mexico City and the story of a man caught up in a terrifying web of murderous intrigue, as Patrick Quentin tells it in his exciting story, The Follower. My name is Liddon, Mark Liddon. I'm a petroleum engineer just back from 3 months in Venezuela. I hadn't cabled my wife that I was coming home to New York because I wanted to surprise her. We'd only been married 2 weeks, Ellie and I, before I went on the trip, and I was crazy to get back to her. Three long, empty months. And now, in a matter of seconds, we'll be together again. Ellie! Ellie, it's me, Mark. Ellie? Ellie, are you here? Oh, let's cut out the comedy. Hey, who are you? What's the matter? What's wrong with you, anyway? Corey. Good Lord. It was the guy Ellie had thrown over to marry me, Corey Lathrop. And he was dead. I saw the 2 bullet holes in his chest. Turned sick. He'd been dead quite a while, maybe a day or two, and he didn't look much like the socialite man about the clubs, member of the State Parole Board Society lawyer. He just looked dead. I recognized that torn piece of negligee in Corey's hand. I ought to. I'd seen it often enough. Oh, Nellie. First thing to do was locate her fast. No. No, not the police. Not yet. Not without knowing what it's all about. Who else, then? Certainly not her society friends. They wouldn't tell me if they knew. I was an outsider, big prospects, but no money. The dark horse who'd rushed Ellie off her feet. No chance there. Maybe some of her other friends, though, she'd messed around with just for thrills because she was rich and bored. Maybe the gambler, Victor DeTorio. Yeah, that was it. If anybody knew what had happened to Ellie, Victor would be the guy.
You've really beat the odds, Mr. Liddon. Very few people I'd let come back here to my private office.
Oh, thanks, Victor.
Of course, you're different, though. You're married to little Ellie. I'd do anything for Ellie. How is she, by the way?
Well, I was hoping maybe you'd know.
Oh? Why would I know anything about it?
Well, you're a friend of hers, aren't you?
Why, sure. I knew Ellie long before she met you. She's a great little kid. Too much money for her own good, but still.
You know where she is, Victor?
No, I don't. But she wasn't here a couple of nights ago. Saw her at one of the roulette tables. Ellie sure has a weakness for roulette.
Yeah. Well, look, can't you tell me?
I remember now. That was the night she got into Neon Credit for $20,000.
$20,000?
I guess the guy she was with was bad luck for her. That nose in the air, what was his name? Lathrop? Corey Lathrop.
Lathrop?
Yeah, somebody ought to smash that guy. He's just too good to live.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, Victor, about that money Ellie lost.
Oh, don't worry your head about it, Mr. Liddon. Ellie's a friend of mine. She'll pay when she gets the dough. These little cafe cookies understand gambling, how it works and all. They always pay off. Every one of them pays in the end.
Back at the apartment again, I sat in the den, smoking one cigarette after another. Tried to think it out. Started to get dark, and I still sat there, not knowing where to turn. Stopped cold. Hello?
May I speak to Mrs. Liddon, please?
Well, she isn't here right now. May I take a message? I'm Mr. Liddon.
Oh, well, this is Franchot's Originals, Mr. Liddon. We have those 2 new suits ready to send out, and I'd find a note here with them. It is a request to forward the suits by airmail to Hotel Granada, Mexico City.
Mexico City?
Oui. Mrs. Liddon evidently telephoned the message, but I did want to confirm the address. Is that correct, Mr. Liddon? Hotel Granada, Mexico City?
Yes, that's right. She flew down there for a few days.
Ah, nice. I do hope she enjoys her trip.
Well, I'm sure she will. Goodbye. Mexico City. So that's where she'd gone. Well, whatever the game, I was sure of one thing. I was on her side, win, lose, or draw. And that meant following her on the next plane south to Mexico City. From the airport, I phoned the police, told them where they'd find Corey's body, and hung up. I beg your pardon. Is the desk clerk around?
Pues sí, senor. I am the desk clerk. Can I help you, senor?
Yes, I believe my wife is registered here, Mrs. Mark Liddon.
Liddon? That is not a very common name, senor.
No, I guess it isn't. Well?
That is a very nice jacket you are wearing, senor. Soft and warm like the breast of a senorita.
Thank you.
It must take many pesos to buy a jacket like that.
I really don't remember now, if you'll be kind enough to...
It must be very nice to have many pesos.
Look, what are you after, a tip?
Senor!
How much?
Pues, when a pobrecito has 5 sisters to support and only one very small job, 20 pesos?
10.
15. It is only pesos, senor, not like dollars.
All right, here.
Gracias. Now we are friends. The senorita is registered in room 522.
522. Okay, thanks.
But wait, senor.
What?
She is not there now.
Oh? Well, where is she?
The senorita is go to the bullfights, I think. But no matter, senor. You are her husband. You are my very good friend. So I let you wait in her room for only 10 pesos more.
Look, if you like golden eggs, don't kill the goose.
But, senor, you do not look at things the right way. For only 25 pesos, you now have Oscar for your very good friend.
Oscar sent a bellboy up to let me into 522. When he'd gone, I opened the 2 traveling cases in the closet and searched through a mess of clothes and the usual feminine whatnots. I don't know what I'd expected to find in Ellie's luggage. Blood stains, a gun, I don't know. And then I heard the key in the lock. I didn't move. Didn't say anything. Ellie, baby, who the devil are you?
I could ask the same question, and with a lot more reason, too. Will you get out now, or shall I call the manager?
Now, look, there must be some mistake here.
There certainly is.
This is room 522, and my wife's clothes are in those bags
You've
there.
been going through my things?
Your things. Not unless you happen to be Mrs. Mark Liddon.
That's exactly who I happen to be.
Oh, now, wait a minute, honey. I'm Mark Liddon.
Oh, please, that's a real old one, and I'm just not in the mood.
I'm Mark Liddon no matter what, and you're impersonating my wife.
I'm Mrs. Mark Liddon, and you're trying to impersonate my husband. Now get out, or so help me, I'll phone the manager.
Wait, let me make a call first. It just so happens I know the Spanish words for police and American embassy.
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't, huh? Hello?
Wait, no, don't.
Okay. Now, what's the game? Where's Ellie?
I don't know, Mr. Liddon. I've never met your wife. I was desperate, that's all, and when the chance came along, I took it.
What chance? What were you desperate about?
I'd come down here for a week and got stuck. I didn't know you needed papers to get back across the border. Proof of citizenship, I mean. You see, I've lived in New York all my life, but I was born in Czechoslovakia.
Go on.
Well, I was broke, too. I didn't know what to do. That's when I ran into this bartender, George. And he fixed everything up.
Fixed it up how?
Well, he said this Mrs. Liddon, your wife, had just got in from the States and wanted to disappear for a few days. She was looking for somebody to take her place here at the hotel, so George arranged the whole thing. He brought me here, gave me her tourist card. That's all I know about it.
What were you supposed to get out of the deal?
Just the tourist card. I could use it to cross the border. Mrs. Liddon was going to say later she'd lost it and get a new one. Anyway, that's what George said.
George, huh? Where does this George work?
Well, it's one of the American bars. He's off duty now, though.
Where can I find him?
Well, sometimes he hangs around the Salon de Lisboa. It's a cantina over near the plaza.
Look, if this is all the truth, how come nobody here at the hotel noticed the switch when you took my wife's place?
Well, she checked in during the night and stayed out of sight. No one's seen her but the night clerk. Oscar, I think his name is.
Oscar, huh? That boy really gets around. He's the day man now.
Mr. Liddon, what are you going to do with me?
I don't know yet. What's your name?
Frankie.
Okay, come on, Frankie. Let's go find George.
There he is, Mr. Liddon. He just came in.
The short blonde guy. Looks like a Benham rooster.
Yes. George! Over here, George!
Cocky and tough. I know the type.
George, we've been waiting here for you.
Huh?
I was beginning to think maybe you'd been called back to work at the bar.
No, I'm off duty.
This is Mr. Liddon, George. Mr. Mark Liddon from New York.
Oh. Okay if I sit down?
Sure, George. That's the idea.
Hey. I suppose you're looking for your wife.
That's right. Where is she?
You've been away somewhere, haven't you? Out of the States.
Yeah.
And your wife wasn't expecting you back so soon.
No, she wasn't.
Well, I'm afraid you're out of luck, Mr. Liddon. She took a plane to Guatemala this afternoon.
Dispénsame, jefe, pero el cantinero quiere saber si ustedes desean algo que tomar.
No.
You wouldn't be lying, would you, George?
Don't push me, Mr. Liddon. Your wife's missing, and you're all upset about it, but don't try to push me.
Where is she, George?
I just told you. That's all I know about it. I'm just a guy who helped her out of a jam.
What kind of a jam?
All I know is what she told me. Said she'd run out on a big gambling debt in New York. And they were sending a gunman after her. She had to get away.
You see, that's where I came in, Mr. Liddon. She wanted someone to take her place here, cover up her trail.
How did she get out of Mexico when you got her tourist card?
She had a passport with her. She didn't need the card.
I see. Well, I still think you're both lying.
Oh, Mr. Liddon, I warned you about
Shut up,
trying...
George. You can do your talking to the police and the American embassy. That's who I'm going to talk to.
Oh, don't be a fool, Mr. Liddon.
I'd be a fool to believe this story of yours.
You don't know what it's all about. You're not going to do anything with this blundering around except get your wife killed. Go back to New York and stay out of it.
Skip it, Frankie. When I want your advice, What's the idea of the gun, George?
The idea, Mr. Liddon? That all three of us get up from this table quietly and walk out of the cantina.
I see.
You're not going to the police, Mr. Liddon, nor to the American embassy. You're coming with us.
Suppose I don't?
You will. Shall we go?
Sure. Why not?
Quietly, Mr. Liddon. Just like three friends, huh?
Sure, George. I'll go quietly.
Now, George!
All right, now give me that gun. Give it to me. All right, now get up on your feet.
Nice going, Frankie.
Come on, George, let's get out of here.
Wait.
Give me that bottle. He's still conscious.
There! George! You didn't have to hit him again.
Shut up, Frankie. We're in it too far to turn soft-hearted now. Come on, let's go.
Escape, under the direction of Norman MacDonald, returns in just a moment. The Book of Etiquette loses a lot more pages tonight when Jack Benny tries to ingratiate himself with the suave, oh-so-social Ronald Coleman's. Yes, Ronnie and Benita will be Jack's guests on CBS tonight. And on the Charlie McCarthy Edgar Bergen Comedy Hour, Charlie will try to enlist in the Air Force and end up as a skywriter advertising pumpernickel bread. Red Skelton, Amos and Andy, Corliss Archer, and Eve Arden as our Miss Brooks will also be on hand on most of these same CBS stations with their famous brands of CBS Sunday night comedy. And now, back to Escape.
When I came to a half hour later, Frankie and George were gone. The only lead to Ellie I had, gone. And I left the canteen and flagged a taxi. In the whole picture, there was only one man who might be able to help me now. I headed for the Hotel Granada and Oscar.
Too bad, too bad. It is most unfortunate that you have such a very bad accident, senor. You should come to me. I would have tell you. This salon de Lisboa is not a good place for tourists.
Oscar, you're a chiseler, a liar, and a crook.
Senor, that is a very bad way for friends to talk to each other.
You'd sell out your own mother for 10 pesos.
You are what they call a very cynic man, senor. I would never do such a thing. Not for 10 pesos.
Why didn't you tell me there was another woman living here posing as my wife?
But you are her husband, senor. And one must be very careful with husbands.
Oscar, I've played along with you as far as I'm going to. I think it's time you talk the whole thing over with the police.
The police? Senor, now you are not speaking like a friend. And just when I was going to tell you about something for free.
Tell me about what?
About the lady who is pretend to be your wife. She has come here while you are gone.
What?
She reads a telegram which is come for Mrs. Liddon. Then she has checked out of the hotel.
I didn't think she had the nerve to come back here.
Maybe you like to know what the telegram is saying, huh? It was not sealed so tight.
Of course I'd like to know what the All right. How much?
200 pesos.
For free, huh? Okay. Here's 150, and that's all you get.
Gracias, amigo. The telegram say, plans changed. Go to Hotel Casa Miranda, Acapulco.
Acapulco? Who was it signed by?
It was only the one name, Victor.
I hit my first lucky break in Acapulco. I came in from the airport and went to the Casa Miranda Hotel. And halfway across the lobby, I ran into Frankie.
Mr. Liddon, what are you doing here?
Looking for you.
How did you find out?
Easy. I'm one of Oscar's very good friends. All right, now tell me, where's George?
In Mexico City. Oh, please, Mr. Liddon, don't try to interfere. Leave, right now. You're going to ruin everything.
I hope so. Where's Ellie?
She's not here. She's in Mexico City. Oh, please, I know you're trying to help her, but you don't understand. You're only making things worse.
You mean worse for you?
Worse for everybody. Ellie, too. You don't even know what it's all about, and you're going to get yourself killed.
Where's Ellie?
I promise you, in a week, everything will be fine.
Where's Ellie?
You've got to believe me. You have to...
There you are, Mrs. Liddon. Are we ready to go?
Yes. Yes, I'm ready any time, Senor Gallus.
Very well.
Aren't you going to introduce me, darling?
Introduce you?
Yes.
Yes. Senor Gonzalez, this is my husband, Mark.
Oh, a pleasure.
How do you do, Senor Gonzalez?
He just arrived unexpectedly.
Oh, I see. And are you planning to go out to the villa with us, Mr. Liddon?
Oh, I don't think you will.
Sure, definitely. I'm in on this, too, you know.
You know what is involved, then?
Well, naturally. The little woman always tells me everything.
And you have no objections?
Well, if it's all right with her, it's all right with me.
Oh, you are a very broad-minded man, Mr. Liddon. Shall we go?
Senor Gonzalez made a brief phone call at the hotel desk, then we got into a black chauffeur-driven limousine. headed out along the shore highway, skirting the sea. About 3 miles out of town, we turned into a private roadway, stopped in front of a large Spanish villa.
I regret the necessity of asking you to wait here on the veranda for a few minutes, Mr. Liddon. But I believe it is better that you don't come down to the boathouse with us.
Right. Sure, that's fine.
Just make yourself comfortable, Mr. Liddon. This shouldn't take long.
All right.
Mark.
What?
Mark, over here.
Ellie. Oh, Ellie, baby. What are you doing here?
Mark, it's wonderful you're here.
Oh, darling.
But you shouldn't come.
What have they done to you, baby?
Nothing, Mark. I'm all right. But you're not, darling. They'll kill you. You've got to get out of here.
We'll both get out. We've got time. Frankie and Gonzalez have gone on down to the boathouse.
Yes, I know.
You know?
Yes, Gonzalez phoned from town. They won't do anything to you if you leave right now. Victor promised me.
Ellie, what are you talking about?
I didn't want you to get mixed up in it, Mark. I wanted it to be all over before you came back from Venezuela.
I think you better tell me what this game's all about.
I had to do it. Victor made me do it. I lost a lot of money at his club, and he said if I didn't, he'd kill me.
If you didn't what?
Bring a load of dope across the border for him.
Dope?
That's another one of his rackets, along with gambling. He gets it down here from Gonzalez.
So, Victor hasn't been after you. You've been on his side all the time. But then, what if Frankie and George come in?
They're both working for the police. They kidnapped me from the hotel, gave me drugs so Frankie could take my place and meet Gonzalez. They planned to get the dope from Gonzalez, deliver it to Victor, and then have the police move in on everybody. I got away, though, and phoned Victor. He came down here.
So that's why Frankie was impersonating you.
George used to be one of Victor's boys. Then he got sent to prison. He just got out on parole. It was through Corey he began working with the police.
Ellie, tell me the truth. You killed Corey, didn't you?
I had to, Mark. He was going to turn me in. He was on the parole board, and George reported to him, so he found out about me. He was going to turn me in.
All the time you've been in it up to your neck.
It'll be all right, Mark. Victor will fix it. About Corey, I mean. We'll pretend it never happened.
Just another thrill, huh, Ellie?
Mark.
I've been crazy about you, but I guess I haven't known you very well. You know, I thought this fooling around the clubs with Victor and the others was just bored little rich girl stuff.
Mark.
But it goes a lot deeper than that, doesn't it?
But, darling, I had to do this. Don't you understand?
What was I, Ellie? Just another thrill? Something different for a while,
No.
huh?
No, that's why I did it. For us, I mean. Victor was threatening me. He'd have told you all kinds of bad things about me. That's why I had to.
Is Victor down at the boathouse?
Yes.
What are they going to do to Frankie?
I don't know.
They're going to kill her, aren't they?
Right, I suppose. I don't know. What's the difference anyway? Who cares? She doesn't matter. Don't you see that? It's us that counts. That's why I did what I... Mark, where are you going?
To get her out of it if I can. That's the least I can do.
No, come back.
Goodbye, Ellie.
Mark, no! No!
I ran down the driveway toward the boathouse. I was sick. Sick inside and all over. Sick from seeing Ellie the way she really was for the first time. Dazed with the shock. They looked at me startled when I burst through the door. Frankie, pale but defiant, sitting in a chair against the wall with Victor and Gonzalez bending over her.
Well, this is quite a surprise, Mr. Liddon. You're supposed to be escaping.
Yeah, I know. I talked with Ellie. Generous of you, Victor. Letting me go?
Oh, we do anything for Ellie. She's a great little kid. Right, Gonzalez?
Oh, yes, indeed. A most charming young woman.
She wanted us to let you go, so we said okay. That's too bad you had to blunder on down here.
That's all right, Victor. I wanted to see Frankie.
I tried to keep you out of it, Mr. Liddon. I guess now you know.
That's right, Frankie. Oh, I know.
That's too bad, Mr. Liddon. But you ought to have taken Ellie's advice.
No, Victor. You're all mixed up. I'm in on this, too, now.
Hmm?
You know, any game Ellie plays, I play, too.
Well, we figured you for one of those moral guys. Real God on a kid, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, real
gone on the kid. Well, fine, Mr. Liddon. Join the party.
Thanks.
We're trying to get this little cookie to tell us where George is. If she doesn't, I'll count to 10 and then... Well, how about it, honey?
I told you. I don't know where he is.
Mm-hmm. It's too bad. 1, 2. Better talk, Frankie. 3.
I stood there watching them trying to figure a play. Victor held a gun pointed at Frankie's head, and Gonzalez was probably carrying one,
6.
too. Whatever the play, it had to be fast.
7. 8. 9.
Victor! Don't hurt him, Victor.
Ellie.
He doesn't know what he's saying about trying to help Frankie. I mean, he's out of his head. This is Liddon, you fool.
That's the game.
Victor! No!
As Victor swung the gun toward me, Ellie jumped and grabbed his arm, and hang on. Gonzalez was just drawing his gun when I hit him, and we both went down. As he scrambled to get up, I drew back my foot and kicked him in the head. I fumbled on the floor for his gun, and from the corner of my eye saw Victor turn his own gun point blank on Ellie. As he turned toward me, I was up on my knees, Gonzalez's gun in my hand, and I let him have it.
Are you all right, Mr. Liddon?
Yes, Frankie. I'm all right.
Mike.
Yeah, baby.
Mark, it would have worked out all right. No, it would.
Sure, Ellie. Of course it would, Ellie.
Oh, you'd better get her to a doctor, Mr. Liddon. I wanted it to. Please believe me. I've done bad things, Mark, but I could have changed. But you...
Sure, honey. I know.
I can go up to the house and phone for a doctor.
No, Frankie. She doesn't need a doctor. She's dead. Well, that was it. Whatever Ellie was, whatever she'd done, I loved her more than anything else in the world. A love like that becomes a part of you. And even when it gets diseased, it has to be cut out. It leaves a deep wound. It takes a long time to heal. If I'd known more about it, I may have acted differently. She might still be alive. I don't know. But as it was, I'd done the only thing I could. I'd followed her. I'd followed her clear to the end.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you The Follower by Patrick Quentin, especially adapted for Escape by Les Crutchfield. Bill Conrad was starred as Mark Liddon. Featured in the cast were Georgia Ellis, Harry Bartell, Virginia Gregg, Lou Krugman, Sidney Miller, and Don Diamond. The special music for Escape was composed and conducted by Del Castillo. In just a moment, we're going to ask you to stay tuned for Bill Goodwin and $1 a Minute. But that reminds us that starting next Sunday, $1 a Minute will move back a half hour and be heard on most of these same CBS stations at this time. That is, the time you've been listening to Escape today. The new addition to the CBS Sunday afternoon lineup next Sunday will be Rate Your Mate, the comedy quiz starring Joey Adams. So now, stay tuned for Bill Goodwin and $1 a Minute, which follows immediately on most of these same CBS stations today and will be heard a half hour earlier next Sunday. This is Roy Rowan speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot roastin' present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol. In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy have trapped one of Prince Baccarati's spies in a sub-basement in Jupiter City. Cautiously, the spy presses a concealed button and slips through a secret opening.
Commander, there he goes. No, it's no use, Happy. We could never break it down.
That's right, Corey. You can't escape.
Sirkin's voice is coming from that speaker up there. Sirkin, listen to me.
You listen to me. I'm getting off this planet, Corey. Prince Baccarati tipped me off that a guided missile has been launched toward Jupiter City. There's nothing you can do to stop it.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, Target Jupiter. It's Saturday, gang, no school, and here's a bunch of Space Patrollers who have real big plans for this weekend. They're packing up for a camping trip out on the mountains. In go the tents. In goes the hiking equipment. Yes, sir, they're packing power and energy now with a big case of bite-sized rice checks and bite-sized wheat checks, those super cereals that help us supercharge you. And, gang, not only are rice checks and wheat checks the best-tasting cereals in the universe, but no other cereal, flaked or puffed, contains so much nourishment in such concentrated bite-sized form. Nourishment that adds up to more zip and bounce and sparkle for you. And Space Patrollers, September is Better Breakfast Month. So now's the time to start pulling up to your table every morning and having yourself a better breakfast with bite-sized rice checks or bite-sized wheat checks. They're out, power-packed and ready for anything. They had their bite-sized checks today. Now, how about you? And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, Target Jupiter. Commander Corey has Prince Baccarati's chief henchman, Dr. Malengro, in custody on the planet Terra, following his capture on one of Saturn's moons. Baccarati managed to escape while Buzz and Happy were rescuing Malengro from the perilous situation into which Baccarati thrust the brilliant but corrupt Malengro. Following Commander Corey's instructions, Major Robertson is preparing to give Dr. Malengro a brainograph test to learn details of Baccarati's defenses on Planet X. Now, in the commander's central office, Cadet Happy is carefully adjusting the spaceophone receiver while Buzz reviews a few known facts about Baccarati's defenses.
I think this ought to do it, Happy.
Are you all ready to give Malengro the brainograph test, sir?
Yes, well, I have enough key questions here to bring out most of Malengro's knowledge of Baccarati's weapons. And also, if we're lucky, Baccarati's immediate plan.
Yeah, I guess Malengro knows just about everything Baccarati plans to do.
Oh, by the way, did you pick up that signal again, the one for me from outer space?
Oh, no, sir, not again.
If it was a patrol ship, they would have used one of the regular relay frequencies. They would have reached me through regular communication. Well, shut off the spacephone. Let's go down to the brainograph chamber.
Yes, sir.
Calling Commander Corey at Terra headquarters.
There it is, sir.
Prince Baccarati on Planet X calling Commander Corey at Space Patrol headquarters, Terra.
Baccarati?
Let's see what he's up to now. Corey here. Go ahead, Baccarati.
Just listen, Corey. This is a warning and an ultimatum. I want Dr. Malengro released immediately.
That sounds a little ridiculous, Baccarati. Not long ago, you tried to kill him just so you could escape.
I'm not speaking out of sentiment, Corey. Malengro has information about Planet X that would be inconvenient for you to know. I'm warning you, unless you put Dr. Malengro on the spaceophone and assure me that he will be returned to Planet X, I'll destroy Terra.
Yes? How?
This is no bluff, Commander. I can blast the guided missile into Terra and wipe out the capital of the United Planets. And I'll do it.
You do that just to get Malengro back?
Whether he comes back or not is up to you. If he goes under the brainograph, I'll blast Terra apart before you can use that information against me.
What are you going to do, sir? There's no use appealing to his reason or decency. Baccarati, do you take my word that Malengro has not been given a brainograph test?
You might lie to me to save Terra. Bring Malengro to the spaceophone. I want to hear it from him.
All right, Baccarati, I'll get him. Come on, Happy. We'll go over to the security lab and have Major Robertson release Malengro. Robbie. Oh, Commander. I'm glad you're here. Robbie, I just heard from Baccarati. We're going to blast Terra with a guided missile unless we return Malengo to Planet X immediately. I'm not sure that's possible. Have you started the treatments already? Well, no, sir. We didn't have a chance to start. So why? What's wrong? Malengo's in a deep coma, Commander. He evidently had some chemical concealed on him. Dr. Stevens and I have been working on him, trying to bring him to. Nothing we've tried has had any effect. He's practically in suspended animation, sir. Oh, how's he going to talk to Baccarati? He can't. Well, come on. Let's go back and give the news.
It's a trick for me. You're lying to me.
I'm not lying, Baccarati. Dr. Malengro has put himself into a state of suspended animation.
Ah, then he outwitted you. You might as well turn him over to me.
Suppose I refuse.
I'll carry out my threat to destroy Terra.
If I send out a ship with Malengro on it, will you guarantee its safe return?
You mean you'll accept my word?
I'll have to under the circumstances.
I can't afford that luxury myself, Commander. How do I know you won't try to trick me?
If you don't trust me, how are you going to get Malengro back?
Put Dr. Malengo in a spacesuit and drop him out in space. I'll give you precise instructions. My men will pick up Malengo when we are certain those space patrol ships are around.
All right, Baccarati. Let's have the space coordinates. I'll return Malengo myself.
True to his word, Commander Corey has Dr. Malengo placed in a spacesuit. And then he and Happy drop the unconscious man off in space as directed by Baccarati and head back toward Terra.
I sure wish we'd got some information from Malengo while we had him. Maybe Baccarati couldn't have destroyed Terra after all.
Maybe not. But I couldn't place thousands of people in danger just to hold Malengo.
Major Robertson, Terra headquarters, calling Commander Corey aboard Terra 5. Major Robertson to Commander Corey.
Corey here. Go ahead, Robbie.
We just picked up a brief message from Baccarati. He picked up Malengo.
Good. Keep all space patrol ships on the alert in the Terra perimeter. We can't trust Baccarati.
Right, Commander. Well, we just received some interesting information from Jupiter headquarters. Within the past 12 hours, 7 of Baccarati's spies have left Jupiter City.
Do you know where they went?
Well, 2 went to Saturn. 1 seems headed for Venus. The other 4 are still being tailed by our agents.
What about Baccarati's men on Terra?
No activity. At least among those we know about.
Now, those 7 who left Jupiter, are they the only known spies on that planet?
Oh, no, sir. There's 1 more still in Jupiter City. And there are 3 in Kepler City.
Well, that man's still in Jupiter City. Who is he?
Rupert Zirkin. He claims to be a purchasing agent for Outer Planet Space Lines. And in the last year, he's paid out 200,000 credits to manufacturers.
I see.
The odd part of it is that Outer Planet hasn't placed that much business with Zirkin.
But Zirkin is with Outer Planet Lines.
Yes, a minor official in the purchasing department. Outer Planet Space Lines is on the up and up, all right. They voluntarily showed their books to our agents.
And Zirkin is using Outer Planet Lines as a cover for someone else. Obviously, Baccarati.
The way I've got it figured, Commander. The president of the company wanted to discharge Zirkin, but our agents persuaded him to give him more rope.
Good. Happy and I are going to Jupiter City. I want to find out what's keeping Zirkin in town when Baccarati's other spies have left.
A few hours later, in Jupiter City, Commander Corey reviews the files on Rupert Zirkin and talks to the agent who has been watching the spy. Now, in civilian clothes, Buzz and Happy are strolling through a small park in the pleasant residential section of Jupiter City.
Well, that's Zirkin's apartment right across the street, Happy, on the ground floor on the left.
Nice place. Not too fancy.
It's just the sort of place a man with Zirkin's position in the spaceship company should have.
Yeah, the man's coming around the corner. And from the way he's stepping it off, he's in a hurry.
It's Zirkin. Apparently his visit to the Technoplast lab was a success. Let's find out. Yes? Mr. Zirkin? Yes, what can I do for you? I'd like to talk to you inside, if you don't mind. Well, I'm rather busy, but come in. Thanks. Come on, Zirkin. Now, what was this in regard to, Mr. Corey? You're with Outer Planet Space Lines, is that right? Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm working on an important deal for them right now. So if you'll please be brief, I'll appreciate it. Of course. The deal involves Technoplast Labs. You've just come from meeting with their production supervisor, Franklin Delaport, I believe. Yes, we discussed the purchase of 8 tons of beta foil, is that right? I was under the impression that my meeting with Delaport was a private business matter, Mr. Corey.
Commander Corey of the Space Patrol. I assume you're aware that the government authorization you showed to Mr. Delaport was a forgery. Outer Planet Space Lines has never applied for a permit to buy rate of foil.
Just a minute.
You know what rate of foil is, don't you?
Not exactly.
You're a purchasing agent. Don't you know what you're purchasing?
I buy thousands of different items and materials. I do it by lot number, by name, by code.
All right, Happy. Tell Mr. Sirkin what rate of foil is.
It's the only known substance that will confuse viewscope beams. A spaceship covered with rate of foil will bounce viewscope beams back in all directions and at reduced frequencies. Frequencies that the ordinary viewscope can't detect.
All right, Sirkin. Who do you know that would be interested in obtaining a large quantity of that substance?
I don't run Outer Planet. Take it up with the top brass.
I already have, Mr. Sirkin. Outer Planet has no plans involving the use of rate of foil.
I don't understand.
You're working for someone else besides Outer Planet. You've used several 100,000 credits belonging to someone else to buy materials in the name of Outer Planet. I want to know who put up that money. Is it Prince Baccarati? Come on, is it? We know you're one of Baccarati's spies. You can save yourself a lot of trouble by telling us the whole story.
All right, Commander. I guess it's no use.
You and the other spies have been trailed ever since we picked up some evidence at Baccarati's communications center on Saturn's sixth moon. How do you contact Baccarati?
In the sub-basement. The space aquarium. All the records are there. I'll show you.
All right, sir. Take us down there. Watch him.
There's a concealed door here.
Go on in, Sirkin.
You'll find most of the evidence in those filing cabinets.
Uh-huh. Where's the spaceophone?
There's a panel in this wall.
Another door.
And it's my way out.
Grab him, Happy.
You're too late, Commander.
Happy, out the other door, quick.
It's closing.
No, it's too late. Look for that secret patch in the side wall.
It's not very well hidden. You can find it, but it won't do you any good.
Sirkin's voice coming from that speaker up there.
Sirkin, listen to me.
No, you listen to me. You can't escape, Corey. The release mechanism works only from my fingerprints. You can stay in there or the entire city is destroyed.
What are you talking about?
You probably know about Prince Baccarati's agents leaving Jupiter City, don't you?
Yes, what about it?
Prince Baccarati tipped us off that he was blasting a guided missile into the city at 1500 hours Universal Star Time. That's less than half an hour from now.
A guided missile? Where's he launching it from?
One of Jupiter's moons. By this time, it's already on its way. And there's nothing you can do to stop it.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. Here's a salute to the famous jet plane assigned to the vital Air Force mission of defending America's homeland, the F-94C Starfire, built by the Lockheed Aircraft Corporation, Burbank, California. Now, in just a moment, you'll hear from Tony LaVere, test pilot on the Starfire. Within seconds after warning, this radar-controlled interceptor can be off the ground and streaking to 45,000 feet or higher. Packing 48 rockets, it can fly and fight in sunshine or pitch darkness at speeds of more than 600 miles an hour. On landing, the Starfire can be brought to a quick stop by a parachute, which pops from its tail. And now, Tony LaVere.
You know, good health is important to a test pilot, and I have to stay in top condition. I get lots of rest and eat plenty of good food. That's why I like a good cereal for breakfast, like rice checks or wheat checks. They have real energy and they taste swell. Why don't you try them?
No other cereal, puff, or flake contains so much nourishment in such concentrated bite-sized form. Rice checks, wheat checks. Get some at your grocers today. And now, back to our Space Patrol adventure, Target Jupiter. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy have been locked in a sub-basement on Jupiter by one of Prince Baccarati's spies, who has told Buzz that a guided missile has been released from one of the Jupiter moons and will strike the city at 1500 hours. Now, with less than 30 minutes in which to save the city from disaster, Buzz and Happy tried desperately to escape from their prison.
It's no use, Happy.
What are we going to do, sir? If Sirkin is right, there's a guided missile beelining for Jupiter City right now.
Sirkin won't waste any time getting out of the city. Chances are he's headed for the spaceport.
Maybe one of our agents will grab him, sir, and then he'll tell what's happening to save his own skin.
With half an hour's warning, an ordinary guided missile might be stopped before it hits, but if it's covered with radar foil, it couldn't be detected.
Do you think Baccarati could have got a hold of some radar foil already, sir?
That's possible. You know he ordered 8 tons through Sirkin.
Well, we can't take a chance on Circum being caught. We've got to alert the Space Patrol.
Well, then let's start hacking at the walls with that bar, sir. It's the only thing we can do.
Wait, hold it. Look up there.
Huh? Oh, a ventilator grating.
Right. If we remove that grating, we might be able to crawl through to another part of Circum's apartment.
It'll be a tight squeeze, but well, give me a boost and we'll try.
As Buzz and Happy pry loose the grating over the ventilator, Prince Baccarati and Dr. Malengro follow the deadly trajectory of a guided missile on a viewscope screen from a hideout on one of the 12 moons of Jupiter.
It's on course, Your Highness. In 24 minutes, the missile will strike Jupiter City.
It's too bad Circum couldn't get the rest of those 8 tons of radar foil off the pen in time. We could have used it.
Perhaps it's just as well.
You're right, Malengo. Circum wasn't inefficient, as I had hoped. At any rate, the radar foil on this missile will get it through the Jupiter defense perimeter.
Yes, unless a patrol ship gets directly on stern of the missile the way we are, they'll never detect it.
And even if they do, it'll be receding from them. Anything they fire at it from that trajectory will hit Jupiter City, too.
Back in Jupiter City, Buzz and Happy work their way inch by inch through the ventilator pipe. Finally, at a turn in the conduit, Happy calls back to the commander.
I reached the grating, sir. From what I can see, it looks like the main entrance. Good. See if you can force the grating. Yes, sir. Oh, I can't budge it, sir. I keep slipping back into the vent. I've got my legs braced in the turn. I'll hold your feet in my hand. All set. Now, push. I think it's giving way, sir. I did it, sir. I can crawl out now. Good boy. I'll give you a hand.
We're coming out right by the main entrance, Commander.
As soon as you're out, rush for the street, Hap. You can get a surface cab. You can alert Space Patrol headquarters before we reach the space.
Rushing out of Rupert Circum's apartment, Buzz and Happy hail a passing surface cab. Issuing commands through the cab's spaceophone, Buzz alerts the Jupiter Defense Squadron. A few moments later, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are spaceborne over Jupiter in the Terra 5. Simultaneously, around the Jupiter Defense perimeter, viewscopes are trained on the 12 moons. And as computers go into operation, the sensitive space monitors are trained on the 4 moons from which missiles could be successfully launched to strike Jupiter City at 1500 hours. From his spaceship, Buzz establishes contact through space control with several patrol ships. And then, as Happy monitors the viewscope scanner, Buzz checks with the Jupiter City headquarters.
Commander Corey aboard Terra 5, calling Major Robertson.
Robbie here. Go ahead, Commander.
Can you give me a report from Central Analyzer as of 1500 minus 5 minutes?
Oh, sure, Commander. Jupiter moons number 2, 5, 8, and 11 are now possible launching points. All others are eliminated.
Check.
Patrol ships report no objects projecting from these moons.
There's something funny in this viewscope.
Just a minute, Happy. Go ahead, Robbie.
We received reports of a strange interference signal from several patrol ships beamed toward moon number 4.
What kind of interference?
Well, I can't explain it, sir, except to say it's like a big hole in the viewscope screen. Stars, other planets, everything's blotted out.
Commander, that's just what's happening in our screen.
The effect radar foil would make Happy. Robbie, stand by for special orders.
Standing by, sir.
Some unknown object is headed toward Jupiter from moon number 4. We can't locate it exactly because of radar foil interference. No one ship can pinpoint the source. I want all patrol ships to spaceophone a signal when their viewscopes are centered directly on this interference. By combining all the signals, you may be able to compute the exact vector.
I'll relay your instructions, Commander.
With a special signal, each ship of the squadron relays to Commander Corey the estimated center of a blurred viewscope image. And as the data is received, Cadet Happy rapidly computes the trajectory.
Sure hope this works, sir. Keep working, Hap. We're centering on the target. Stand by to fire space torpedoes.
Standing by, sir.
I've put our ship on the theoretical vector of the guided missile, Hap.
That bright dot in the viewscope should be the guided missile.
Fire number 1.
Oh, that was a miss, Commander. The dot's still there.
Fire 2.
Missed again.
This is our last chance, Hatch. If we miss this time, Jupiter City's finished. Fire 3.
We did it. The viewscope is clear.
Not a second too soon, Hatch. Did you have a chance to make a record of the trajectory of that missile?
Yes, sir. It's on the Instaphone.
Run it back. We'll find out where it was.
Something went wrong, Malengo.
The missile blew up before it hit Jupiter City. It was 50 miles short of its target.
Malengo, you told me these missiles were foolproof.
The Space Patrol must have hit it, Your Highness.
With the radio foil interference, impossible.
It was sure luck. It can't happen again. We can launch another missile at Jupiter City.
Stop. Wait. They'll expect that. Prepare a missile for Kepler City.
But, Your Highness, we can't hit Kepler City for moon number 4, not till Jupiter revolves into position.
Jupiter revolves very rapidly, Malengo. Get to work. Align the launching mechanism.
But, Your Highness, how about your agents in Kepler City? You don't want to destroy them, do you?
Yeah. They may have information I can use. All right. We'll spaceophone them a warning to leave immediately. But don't tell them.
Meanwhile, Commander Corey has ordered the extra patrol ships to return to their base at Jupiter City. Now, as he and Happy point the long, needle-nosed spaceship Terra 5 toward the capital of the planet Jupiter, a familiar voice booms from the spaceophone.
Major Roberts, Space Patrol Headquarters, Terra, calling Commander Corey aboard Terra 5.
Corey here. Go ahead, Robbie.
Hey, congratulations, Commander. Just heard you intercepted Baccarati's dose from death before it hit Jupiter City.
Thanks, Robbie. I'm keeping regular patrols on the alert, though. He may try it again.
Say, I picked up some information you might be interested in, Commander. Baccarati's agents are leaving Kepler City.
They are?
Yeah, and it seems to be a rush order, sir. What do you make of it?
Well, it's hard to say, Robbie. Wait a minute. His agents left Jupiter City just before he launched that missile.
Maybe Kepler City's next.
It looks like it, Robbie. Hap.
Yes, sir?
Have you computed that missile trajectory?
Well, I'm not too sure of the results, sir. The radio foil makes it pretty hard to be precise.
Where do you think it came from?
Well, right now, it looks like moon number 4, sir. Although it might be moon number 6.
Let's see the astrogation time.
Yes, sir.
As far as Jupiter City is concerned, it could be even but for Kepler City.
Well, moon number 6 won't be in the right position for several hours yet, Commander.
I'll check on 4, but I'll order a squadron to patrol 6 just as a precaution. Robbie.
Yes, Commander?
Right now, it looks as though Moon 4 is the launching site. Below the horizon from Kepler City at the moment, but in a few hours, it'll be in position. I'm going to order Squadron 3 to accompany me to Moon number 4.
Everything ready, Dr. Malengo?
Yes, Your Highness. I've computed the launching time. It's 18:27 and 43 8/10 seconds.
It's less than 10 minutes. Now, you're sure nothing will go wrong?
It can't, Your Highness. Kepler City will be completely destroyed.
Look. What's that in the viewscope?
A spaceship.
What is it doing over this part of the moon?
Your Highness, it's a space patrol ship.
It's Terra 5. It's Commander Corey.
I'm searching for it, Your Highness. I have 60 miles going to bits.
Malengo, don't fire at him just yet. I have an idea.
Hold at this altitude, Happy.
Yes, sir.
Watch the viewscope carefully. Baccarati's probably got the launching site camouflaged.
Any time now, I could be blasting the missile toward Kepler City, according to my calculations.
If we don't locate the launching site before blast-off, the launching itself can show us where it is.
I've got the space torpedo on the ready, Commander.
With little luck, it'll be close enough to track the missile, whether it's coated with radar foil or not.
Commander, look out! Wow.
That was a space torpedo, Happy.
And was it close? Baccarati must have seen us.
Yes, he gave himself away by firing that torpedo. The launching site is on top of that peak.
You're right, sir. I see it now.
Terrific job of camouflage. If I hadn't seen the flash when the space torpedo was launched, I'd have missed it completely.
Commander, look. There's a guided missile rolling out of the tunnel, right up to the launching chute.
I'm getting ready to fire it, Hap. We'll have to blast it. Stand by to fire space torpedo.
Standing by, sir.
Have to get into position before it's launched. Just this one ship after it. We could never locate it with a viewscope.
No, sir. Not with that radar foil on the hull.
Fire, Hap.
Wow.
A direct hit, Hap. He destroyed the missile.
Smoke and rockets, the entire peak is gone. Leveled flat. Well, I guess that takes care of Prince Baccarati for good.
Does it?
Well, doesn't it, sir?
I don't know. I don't know.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Something strange is happening outside Commander Corey's private quarters.
Say, it looks like someone's tiptoeing in.
going through the commander's papers. Who is this ominous intruder? What can he be searching for in the quarters of the Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol? Someone else is coming.
Happy. Hello, Commander.
Looking for something?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I heard you tell Major Robertson that the key to the greatest secret ever to be revealed on Space Patrol is here in your desk. And, well, I just had to know about it, but I can't seem to find it.
Can't you, Happy? Well, maybe I'd better tell you. And you too, Space Patrollers. Believe me, it's really an exciting secret. A secret prize. The biggest prize ever given away to any boy or girl. And here in the desk, the key to that secret prize.
A box of hot Ralston? I don't get it, Commander.
Open the box, Hap.
Oh, okay, sir. But I still don't see... Hey, there's a coin in here. A space coin.
Right, Hap. And Space Patrollers, the swell-looking coin that you'll find in every box of hot Ralston is your opportunity to win a gigantic prize that no other boy or girl on Earth has ever owned. So go to your grocer's right away. Get yourself some good hot Ralston, either instant or regular, in the new package with a picture of Cadet Happy or myself on the outside and a handsome space coin inside. Be sure to save that coin. And be sure you're listening to Space Patrol next week, because you're going to find out all about the biggest prize ever given away to any boy or girl.
Next week on Space Patrol, the biggest prize ever given to any boy or girl. Wow. I'm going to get a box of hot Ralston with the swell space coin right away. How about you?
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are in a tunnel under the surface of Jupiter's fourth moon looking for Prince Baccarati. Cautiously, they stalk through compartment after compartment in the long, dimly lighted passage.
I think there's another door up ahead here. Why are these compartments under?
Keep air in the tunnel in case either end is open. Judging by the upward slope of the floor, we're not far from the end of the tunnel.
Hit the ground, Harry. It's a blast gun. I didn't see this.
Stop it right over our head. Hand me the disintegrator before he fires again.
I dropped it when I hit the ground, sir. It's out of reach.
Keep down, Hap, so he can't see us.
I've got you now, Corbett. All I got to do is keep blasting away till I hit you.
Be sure to join us again next week for the thrilling story, Return to Planet X, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Debris. Other players were Bela Kovach, Ken Mayer, and Norman Jolly. Dick Tufel speaking. Our thanks to the New Jersey State Fair Committee for awarding Space Patrol its coveted Blue Ribbon Award for the outstanding television and radio show of its type. The award will be on display at the New Jersey State Fair September 22nd through October 4th. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again present Space Patrol! Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story in your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.